Mike, turn your games down.
We're doing episode 312 of Games My Mom Found. I am Mike Albertin, and who's sailing the sea with me tonight?
Is there an order?
Yeah, he said the order.
It was Mike, and then Dominic, and then other people.
Yeah, the mic is me.
Oh, hi. Hi, it's Dominic. I'm here. I'm sailing the seas yet again with you, Mike. How's it going, matey?
Hello, everybody. It's me, Barry. I'm back again for another Zelda episode. And if you want to listen to more about me and more things that I do, you can find me over on Twitter and Blue Sky and Fuse at Hawk Hellfire. You can also find me at nintendofuse.com as well as premiumeditiongames.com.
Hi, I'm Trey Snot Arrow Johnson from Nintendo Main Podcast. Here to talk about the superior version of Wind Waker on Wii U. What's up?
Thank you for somebody. I couldn't, but thank you.
And this is Richard Sampson from the podcast YouTube channel Rich Kale and various fan fiction sites. And I am here to say, hi, small fry.
So we are here to talk about The Legend of Zelda, The Wind Waker, developed by Nintendo, published by Nintendo, and came out in 2003 in America, 2002 in Japan originally. And the HD version is, 2018 or so? Or 2016?
Oh, 2013.
No,
2013? Oh, God.
I'd say it was earlier than that. It was very early in the Wii U. Like, it was one of the very first... Yeah, it was an early.
Twilight Princess was the
I didn't
second
have a Wii U yet, and I bought the Wii U around the time of whenever the Super Mario 3D World came out, and it was before that.
Okay. Yeah, it's 2013. I was guessing, and I was overcompensating how long the Wii U was alive.
Oh, yeah, it died in 2017.
It
really died in 2017.
It died when some could say it even died in 2016, I guess.
Yeah.
But
It died in 2016. Breath of the Wild was just like the last hurrah and the only thing really released in 2017.
Sure.
That and Cars 3 Driven to Win and the remaster of Darksiders 1.
And it should be noted that, well, at the time of this recording, it was officially announced that it will be coming to the Switch.
It has not been officially announced.
Are you
Within
just saying
24 hours.
Are you just saying that just to fuck with whenever Mike puts it out?
Yeah, because there actually have been multiple times on this show where I post something about it, and then they announce the thing that I had just recorded about, even though we make jokes saying it's not coming. It just happened.
All right, truthfully, the odds are that it will be coming to the Switch. It will be most likely coming next year as supplement to the Switch owners who did not go to the Switch 2 yet. And Switch 2 owners will be able to play it because it's backwards compatible. That's what they're waiting on.
Yeah, that's what I think is going to happen too.
Because they're going to launch the new Switch in like October time, because that's when the original Nintendo released in America.
It's going to be
in
earlier.
the 80s.
I agree. It'll probably
But
be earlier.
apparently the information has been either leaked or released within the past 48 hours.
I actually put off this episode because I was waiting for the Switch release, and I didn't want to.
Not going to happen.
Yeah, I know. I thought it would. I mean, that's why. I was actually supposed to do Wind Waker years ago, or last year when we did, or earlier this year when we did Phantom Hourglass and all those. And then I'm just like, fuck it. I'm just going to put it on the schedule. They haven't announced it yet, and I want to play it. That's why I've held off on Twilight Princess and Wind Waker, because I was waiting for the Switch release.
I thought you were just waiting so you could play the best one at the end of the trilogy.
Oh, no, I was
you don't have to end with Spirit Tracks, you know.
Oh, God, that game.
Spirit Tracks is the best. What are you talking about?
It blows. I think we talked about that last time, right? Because
we did, yeah.
It so much.
You did.
Hey, I'm just so happy there was no blowing for me in physical life while playing this game, so that was a nice change.
Yeah,
I didn't have to blow on any controller.
You do that since the Wii U gamepad has a microphone on it.
I didn't play this
version
on the Wii U, but
I'm saying
my console
like that.
It does have a microphone on it that I was playing it on.
I mean, I'm sure you didn't play it on the GameCube, so you probably didn't use the Tingle Tuner and the Game Boy Advance.
No, I played this on a Steam Deck.
Yeah, I was gonna say you probably didn't play it properly then.
I own the Wind Waker. I own both copies of it. I have a Wii U version, but I was like, I don't want to try to hook up my Wii. Well, my Wii U is sort of hooked up, and I'm like, I don't want to mess with it. I don't want to try to get it to work. The controller's not charged. Who knows if the cord's even there to charge it? I'm like, I don't want to deal with any of this bullshit, so I'm just going to emulate it on my Steam Deck.
You got to have everything hooked up at all times, like I do. Every system, always.
But also, I played 3 hours of this game sitting in my car, waiting on my mother-in-law in the urgent care. So thank God I had a Steam Deck, because I mean, I was like, hey, I'm playing the way Nintendo wanted me to play it. Mobile.
On a different system.
Yeah,
PC.
absolutely. That's exactly how they pictured it.
Yep, exactly.
So I should do memories of this. So yes. What are you
I was going to say, you're kind of right. I mean, if you remember the Switch presentation when they announced it, how the Switch was a combination of all the systems. And when they got to the GameCube, they talked about the handle on the GameCube and portability. So maybe you're kind of right there.
Yeah.
Or the old handle. The GameCube.
I was so thankful that I had the Steam Deck. I would have left. I'd be like, call me when you're ready. But I was like, yeah, I got a Steam Deck. This won't take that long. And then 3 hours later, I'm like, fucking A.
It was so much fun to see where it won't work in my house. The Wii U controller, like how far I can go from the system and still get it to work. So that was a fun experience.
You just gotta figure like where to put the TV, and then you gotta like perch the Wii U in front of it, and then see like how like kind of like a Wi-Fi signal. Can I go over here? Can I go over here?
Yeah, I was actually surprised that I could, because I wanted to like play it while I was editing our podcast. So I edited in like in the other side of the downstairs here, and I wasn't sure it was going to work that far, and it did actually. It worked pretty well. So that's cool. And I can like directly above where our living room is, I can get it to work up there, but it actually didn't work as well because it kept freaking out. So
and now you're having me debating something.
I had meant to play the Wii U version for years. I actually bought it back when I was playing my Wii U before this podcast had started. I got one late in life, but I never got around to it. I beat Twilight Princess, and then I was like, I'll get to it. And I never did because I had bad memories that I shouldn't have had about this game, I think, because of all the criticism of bullshit people have. Even though I did play this game and beat it. But also, I should say, this was a game my mom did find, actually. My mom bought me the GameCube version when it came out for Christmas in 2003. And I remember being like, I don't really want this game. Looks stupid. I mean, I was old enough to know better. I was just being dumb because of whatever. But I didn't really play it much. I played a little bit of it, but I didn't really get into it. And it wasn't until 2005, I think, when my girlfriend at the time was like, hey, this game is actually pretty good. And she convinced me to play through the entire thing.
Nice.
And that was and I haven't touched it since then. So it's been almost 20 years since I played this game.
I was going to say I thought about having it as my nickname. But I was going to say Wind Waker proved that you should never listen to the fans at all.
Yes.
Because when they came out, everybody's like, "Oh my god, it's so animated and dumb. It should be stupid and everybody should bleed. It should be all like, we should be able to see sweat and hair."
It should be like Twilight Princess, even though we don't know what that is yet.
Well, they wanted, and then they got Twilight Princess, and it was no way as good as this game. Yeah, I wouldn't say it sucks.
It doesn't suck.
I don't think it's as good.
I like it a lot.
I do.
That fucking wolf sounds awful. No one agrees with me. That wolf sounds awful.
I don't remember what the wolf sounds like.
But no, see, I'm gonna play a little bit devil's advocate with you. I agree with you about the fans, and the reason we were so angry at the time is because of the Space World 2000 demo.
Sure, yeah.
And we expected that, and then if you watch the very, very first trailer for Wind Waker, not the launch trailers, but the very first.
I remember it. Yeah, where they're on like the what do you call it? What's the thing they hang from the ceiling? It's and they like fall down and they do like the Wile E. Coyote like look down sort of thing. Yeah,
and you see that version of Link compared to the Space World demo, it was very drastic. But the reason I'm going to play devil's advocate is sometimes you should listen to the fans, look at the Sonic movies. Okay, sure. Sometimes fans does work.
Yeah.
Even then, like this is a great example of why they have to be really careful with what they show pre-release. Like, I would love to have an industry where they're very open and very upfront of like, hey, this is alpha footage. It's not going to look like this when it's done. Because like the modern equivalent is the fucking puddles in Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the puddles aren't as reflective. We're going to sue over that. Like, no, stop it. It's art.
How many times does a game get leaked or something and it's like pre-alpha footage and people go, this looks terrible. It's like, this wasn't for public yet, and B, it's pre-alpha. Like, they're gonna fix it. Give it time.
It's a work in progress.
Sadly, a lot of people still don't have patience.
Oh, definitely.
Oh, God, no.
But I think you also have to remember I was gonna say you have to remember the marketing for the GameCube as well. Like this was a time when Nintendo was going for the hardcore. The N64 was for the hardcore. Hell, the ad before it came out, it said, "Is it worth waiting till September? Only if you want the best." They came out aggressive. Get in or get out. Like they were a very aggressive thing. And then when the GameCube came out, they did the "Who Are You" campaign, and all of the ads were like the giant cube and like this very realistic setting of the jet skier in there for wave race and stuff, and the Metroid Prime. Like it was a very adult. They did the Fusion tour. Like they were really trying to capture the adult audience and distance themselves from the kiddie side of it. And that's where we all thought Nintendo was going. And Wind Waker, as brilliant as the game is, and as much as it does hold up, at the time of that initial release, or at least the reveal, felt like a slap in the face to those that were like, well, Nintendo's growing up. What's going on? So it's like mixed messages. And I think that hurt their initial reveal as well.
It was basically people were expecting filet mignon, but what they got was bologna. That's how they felt.
What they thought they were getting bologna, but what they got was an even better tasting filet mignon than they were expecting.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like the precursor argument to the Brown generation of like the PS3 and like how every game got super realistic.
I hated that.
Got very brown, yeah.
Brown and grayscale, and
like that's essentially what people wanted for the GameCube, and it's like, well, you're dumb. Like that's another reason why fans don't know what they actually want.
Yeah,
and if you also remember to appease the fans, after that, Nintendo was again aggressive with, you really should get Wind Waker, that they offered a fantastic pre-order bonus in Japan only, where you got Ocarina of Time and the Master Quest. And they actually listened
to their Japan only. That was not in Japan only, because I have it.
No, I have listen to me. Listen to me.
Okay.
It was only in Japan, and people caught wind of it in the early days of the internet, and we all raised a ruckus about it. And they actually listened, and they said, due to the outpouring from the West, we've decided to also bring it and make it a pre-order bonus. And instead of Japan getting it in a little sleeve, we actually got it in a full case. But we originally weren't going to get it. But they realized, hey, the West really wants this. Let's use this to sell units.
Sure.
There was
Unlike
one few
Operation
times
Rainfall.
Nintendo actually listened. Yeah, unlike Operation Rainfall. This was a Nintendo that actually listened to their fans. But they did that as an aggressive way. Look, hold on. You're unsure about Wind Waker. What if we use Ocarina to encourage you to trust us? Give us your money. You're really buying Ocarina of Time and Master Quest, and you're getting Wind Waker for free. Think about it that way.
Well, you're not just getting Wind Waker and Master Quest. I mean, you're not just getting Master Quest, Ocarina of Time, and Master Quest. You're also getting the first two.
Are you thinking of the other collection? There's two different.
That was a different one.
That was the collector's edition.
Buying
with
the
Majora's Mask. The pre-order was just Ocarina of Time and Master Quest.
I ordered it from Nintendo, but they were using it to sell systems also.
Yeah, I have both of those, even though I didn't pre-order any of this stuff. I bought them at GameStop years later. Like I walked into a GameStop and I bought that Zelda collection. I think I paid a decent amount, but they had it, and I was like, "What the fuck? You guys have this?"
Yeah, that was to try to spur GameCube sales where they did like 4 different ways you can get it. You could buy a new Platinum one. You could get like 3 of their games or 2 of their games and register it, and you could sign up to Nintendo Power, and like they were
trying.
Yeah, there are a bunch of different ways. And me, stupidly, I sold that one and the other one, so I don't have it anymore. But
well, to be fair, there's many other ways to play those games now, so it's fine.
Well, sure, yeah. But I mean, I think I traded them in for Twilight Princess probably. So on one Wii because I didn't have any money. But
I mean, yes, some of the stuff is worth a lot of money, but at the same time, it's like you're not going to sell it if you have it, most likely, because we're collectors. So I'm just like, the amount of times I move where I'm just like, yeah, you know what? Why do I have all this shit? But then again, I'm surrounded by Funko Pops. So I got nothing to say.
Yep. Got a lot of stuff. Speaking of figures, but ones that are cooler looking, I actually have the Ganon figure that from the deluxe Wii U release, where it was like a whole system that had the Zelda design on it. A buddy of mine actually he had it and he gave it to me for helping him move. So
that's awesome.
So I have the little plastic Ganon guy from the
Nice.
So cool.
Ganon guy. That's what he's called, just Ganon guy.
Yep. It's super cool. I mean, I think some of the fringes fell off, but it's still a really cool toy.
I wonder why I didn't make an amiibo of it instead.
Well, that was
People
right before
didn't
They didn't exist at the time.
Oh, you're right. Amiibos are okay. You see, I I didn't get into the Wii U until the end of the Wii U, so I didn't really realize like release dates.
Amiibo just turned 10, right? Because they were 2014 release.
Yeah, Smash 4.
They released with Smash, with the Wii U Smash.
Okay.
One of the many midlife things they did to try to prop the Wii U up.
Yeah.
And they actually probably sold better than the Wii U at this point.
I mean,
they keep reprinting Amiibos. They're still making money, even though they're not really making new ones.
No, I'm still trying to find that Sephiroth because I missed out on Sephiroth and Sora like an idiot, and I'm still waiting to find those again for a decent price.
I have Sephiroth. I mean, I bought it. I found it at Target whenever it came out.
I know when you'll find it at a decent price, Mike. He'll be old and wizard.
Hey, I'll still buy it.
Yeah.
They'll re-release it.
I'm waiting.
Within 24 to 48 hours after this recording.
I'm waiting for the re-release. That's what I want because I miss those two. I buy some when I see them. I bought a few. So I bought a Charizard recently, a Pikachu. Like I buy some when I see the re-release.
They're going to announce with the Switch 2 that the Final Fantasy VII remakes are coming to Switch 2, and they're going to do a remake of Cloud and Sephiroth that has Amiibo support.
Now you can scan Sephiroth, and it'll make the game good. I'm kidding.
For now, for $70,
they're just not great.
They could release the Wind Waker trilogy on Switch with an Amiibo.
Don't say that because I have every Zelda amiibo and I have to keep that up. So don't say that.
but it'll be the sister instead. It'll be like an exclusive.
No, that's fine. I mean, that's the problem is I would have to buy it.
I'd get an Hyrule amiibo. There is a Wind Waker Zelda amiibo, right? I think I got it.
Yes, there is.
Yes, there's a couple.
Yeah.
There's
Toon Link.
cool.
I mean, Toon Link is from Smash Brothers, but there's a.
Oh, you're talking. Yeah, there's a 2-pack that
Zelda.
my wife bought me.
There's two different Toon Links. There's the Smash Brothers one, and there's the Zelda series one.
Yeah, the Zelda series one comes with the
Wind Waker Zelda.
Yeah.
I'm now picturing a scenario in which this comes with an Hyrule amiibo, but also there's like an option to play a version of the game where you play as Hyrule and Link is the one that gets kidnapped.
Oh god, could you imagine how many people would cry? Oh my god, it's woke! Oh my god, you can play as a girl. Now Link needs
maybe you can carry on the echo ability, so and you can echo those Bacabas with giant chins.
Yeah, they go.
That sounds like too much programming to change the game.
That would be awesome, though.
That would be great, though.
You could throw those
definitely not happening.
the guys, the dark nuts with the giant swords, throw those at people. I'm into it.
That would change the entire game.
As long as you can echo the guy with the hands, like I was saying with the snot arrows, so you can have arrows fall out of your nose to help people kill you.
Oh, you mean little snot boy or
Yeah.
You could also make snot puddles in the ground to make enemies.
Booger Boy still like freaks me out. Like that guy, I don't like that guy from the.
I don't know
What if they did like an AR
snot.
mode to the pictures?
You know, that's the thing though with that boy. It's like it's very realistic when it comes to having a young child.
Yes, it is.
Except most of the time it just gets all over him, right? It doesn't like stay hanging for that long.
You'd be surprised.
It's hanging perpetually.
Trust me, it's like I even said that to my daughter. It's like, why are you calling him Booger Boy? And I says because of that. It's like it's realistic in that sense. We don't know. We still can't figure how some of the boogers were in your nose when you were little.
They're just there.
How did they
body just produces?
How did all that come out of something that small?
There's an eternal question.
Wait, we're getting back to the memories in that.
I mean, I was just about to say, anyone actually, Barry, I know you kind of shared some, but do you have anything else you want to share for your memories of this, or when you first played this?
So as a Zelda fan, I got all the games. So when this was announced as Space World, I was beyond hyped for it. And when that first trailer hit, I was let down. But I still said to my friends, like, I'm still gonna get it. It's Zelda. I'm still gonna buy it. And then when they did that pre-order, in Japan, and I was one of those that, said like, hey, what the hell? And we got wind that, hey, we're going to get it in America. I drove immediately to the GameStop in my mall, put down my money, got my copy of Ocarina of Time and Master Quest, because Master Quest was new. That was a brand new. And for the longest time prior to that, there was all the Zelda Gaiden and the Yura Zelda news going on, which Zelda Gaiden became Majora's Mask, and Yura Zelda was the canceled add-on to Ocarina of Time for the DD. And we're like, oh, this is Yura Zelda. This is finally Yura Zelda kind of released, and it's the only way we're going to get it. So I immediately went home and played Master Quest and beat that. And then while waiting for Wind Waker, I beat Ocarina of Time again on the GameCube. And then when this came out, I drove back to that GameStop, got it day one, popped it in, and I never looked back. It just blew me away. It was everything I could have wanted and then some. And and I realized, hey, I was a young adult, and I was in my early 20s, and I was kind of taken aback by that first trailer, but I gave it a chance, and because I had faith in the team, I had faith in Nintendo, I had faith in the franchise, and I'm very, very glad that I did. And rest is history.
All right, and Trey.
I mean, I did a similar thing. I didn't drive there because I didn't have my car at the time, but I was in college, and there was a GameStop that was like kind of not that far. Like I was at Columbia, which is downtown Chicago, so we walked across the bridge on Roosevelt to the GameStop on Canal Street. Actually, John from our podcast, we actually walked there together to get the pre-order bonus, to get the Ocarina of Time and the Master Quest and all that stuff. And I played through that as well, just like as you did. And I thought it was really funny that cows were like inside of Jabu Jabu's belly, if you remember that from the Master Quest. They had like whole cows in there. I was like, this is weird.
Still that key, that Water Temple key, still boggles my mind.
Yeah. But yeah, we did the same thing where we played it, and then on the day, John, if you listen to our podcast at all, John is a very, intense person about certain things. And when Wind Waker came out, he demanded that we go to GameStop when it opens at 9 a.m. We did that, and they didn't have it yet. So we got there, and they're like, we can't sell it to you yet, or we don't have it yet. So we had to leave and come back. So we left, and we both beat our separate copies of Ocarina of Time, and then we went back and got it around 2 p.m. or whatever. And yeah, and it was great. It's still like the tassels on that giant the sword knife thing or the spear knife thing still boggles my mind, just to see the way the tassels move and when they fall and they drape over the side. I had never really seen anything like that, or the way the smoke looks and the fire and the animation of the fire, and it's just still looks great. Still even looking at the Wii U version now, I'm like, oh wow, game still looks insane. So when I think we had our top Zelda games of all time on a Patreon episode that we did, and this one was high. I think it's all Zelda games of all time. So
no, I think that's completely fair.
Yeah, one of the best soundtracks ever too. I was going to say on the thing about it ever coming to Switch. I think it's going to show up on Nintendo Music before it ever comes to Nintendo Switch. I'll guarantee that. You're going to see the soundtrack on Nintendo Music before anything else. They're doing the weekly release now, but yeah, awesome game. We had some promo art too in our apartment. I don't know what happened to that, but one of my roommates had a little cardboard advertisement thing for it, and I don't know, maybe she took it with her whenever she moved out, but it was cool. So we had a little thing for it. I had an Animal Crossing little mobile house too that we hung from the ceiling from the GameCube version. But yeah, great game.
Okay, and Richard.
Oh, let's see. I was 2003. So I was about 28 when this came out. Actually, a little bit, but I think it came a little bit before I turned 28. But no, I had gotten it. I always go into a game not necessarily. I don't diss an art style or anything like that, because what I care about is, does everything go together in a good way? And I enjoy the music. I would listen to the soundtrack from time to time when I was working, because I had a job that allowed us to do that at some points in my working career. I would work, I worked my way through it multiple times. I've never done the Hero Quest though, which that has a nice little touch to it, because actually it translates all the Hylian.
Yeah, I thought about, actually almost did it this time around, but I just really wanted the green outfit. I didn't want to wear that lobster shirt through the whole thing. So that was kind of what because I accidentally started the second quest, and I actually remember trying to play through it before and getting stuck on one of the dungeons, and there were no guides for the second quest or whatever. So I couldn't figure out how to do it, and I didn't want to get stuck on it for trying to play it for this, so I just went to the regular mode.
Well, I think it's basically the same.
Well, the dungeons are a little different. I thought there were some variations in it.
Maybe. That's like I said, I haven't done it in a while, but I mean, I do like that they were incorporating a lot of things that they were doing at the time. I mean, this was the first time that you actually could collect spoils.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. And with the grappling hook, you can steal them from people too, which is always really
and also with the
steal the necklaces and stuff before you kill the guy.
Oh yeah, and I also like that it was so. All the characters, even the bad guys, they could be so emotive.
Oh yeah,
especially the moblins.
That was a big deal, right? Well, why they chose the art style, was because Link can do, and he has so much. Yeah, he has so much expression through the whole game. It's amazing.
And it's pretty much, I think, the first time that the Great Fairies don't give you the willies.
Yeah, the fairies do look. Yeah, they're not trying to hug you to death or whatever, like Breath of the
Oh
Wild.
yeah.
Or whatever was going on with Ocarina of Time.
I wasn't hugging.
Those outfits.
Much more abstraction
Squeaks they
design this
had
time
when
as
they
well.
showed up.
And they don't scream at you when they come out of the water.
They're not scary in any shape or form, which is nice.
And of course, it's also like funny with how some of the characters react. I mean, I think this is actually when I replayed it, I was taking notice to certain things. I mean, I did remember some, like the stunned look on some, like on the Moblin's face when you take the necklace with the hook.
Oh yeah, you can stab them in the butt too. I was doing.
Oh
that.
yeah.
You can stab them in the butt and they like jump around holding their butt. It's great.
Oh yeah. And of course the Dark Nuts.
Yeah.
I mean, this was actually one of the more how to put it. This was one where you actually saw that they are actually capable of fighting with their hands.
Oh yeah. If you take their weapons around off, they'll kick you. I saw that.
Well, these also were creatures where I think Dark Nuts and Ocarina of Time are just armor, correct? Or we never see, do we?
Well,
Oh, there's one. Urbosa's in one.
Yeah.
But that's an iron knuckle, they said.
That's
Oh.
Iron Knuckle.
Okay, never mind. Different enemies. I should know my Zelda lore.
Maybe they were
look
Dark
similar.
Nuts.
No, they're Iron Knuckles. You are correct. I'm just making them the same thing apparently. Dark Nuts are in the original game, original Zelda, and probably other Zeldas for sure. But yeah,
It was also like the first time you could take enemies' weapons and use them against them too, which is really cool.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
it was a lot of first.
Because there's a whole time of you not having a sword, where you actually do have to take weapons and use them in the first and stealth too, like Metal Gear Solid. Got to Zelda. That's what I thought of when I first played it. I was like, oh man,
Same.
yeah.
That crawl squeak is burned in my mind forever.
I mean, that too. But I think the only light negative I could have to this was, of course, the swinging challenges that you start the game off with and then have to use it again to get the bombs from the pirates.
Oh sure, yeah. The swinging stuff can be a little annoying. I felt like the moving around was a little annoying at first too, but it took me a minute to get used to it.
Yeah, I had to get used to it when I was playing it for the show. I mean, we're getting so used to having a camera automatically going behind us, and then we forget what it's like to have a camera constantly following us, or having to move it into a position, or you can move it around. I mean, I don't use it that often when I'm playing Dead by Daylight, but I know I can do it. I use it when it's more of a strategic thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
Does the GameCube have the free look one too, or was that
Yes.
A little bit.
Yeah, you have
where you can like turn it like a normal normal camera stick. I wasn't sure. I couldn't remember if that was added for Wii or if that was an original or not.
Yeah,
No, we got the fun stuff like the selfie mode.
Yeah, it did have that. Yeah, which I didn't use this time. But you can't do the Miiverse stuff anymore, unfortunately. R.I.P.
Well, and also you have with the GameCube, because at the time the versatility of having a game that works with a Game Boy controller or a Game Boy Advance system.
Tingle Tuner.
Yeah, Tingle Tuner and other games had it.
Player kind of. You can have a fun play.
Or utilize it to find certain things that you can't find without it, like the fourth Tingle brother or cousin or whatever you want to call them.
Speaking of listening to the fans, it's kind of funny. Everybody's like, "We hate Tingle," and they're like, "Well, what if we give you like 5 of them in this game? How about that?"
Yep.
That you only see on one island.
Yeah,
that's good enough.
But at least Tingle serves he still serves a map-related purpose, like he did.
He serves a purpose that upset me because I was playing the GameCube version and he took 3,000 rupees from me.
He shakes you down for money all the time.
See, that was a change they made from the other, but that's also the purpose of why you should be with the treasures.
Yeah, if you find more of the treasures, it's a lot easier to afford to do that stuff.
Yeah, because each of those treasures are like a 1 silver rupee.
Provided you have a big enough wallet.
Yeah.
The water ones, I mean, if they're not, I mean, the glowing ones, for the most time, they were the purple ones for me, which is what, like 20 or 50?
Well, these are the ones you get with the treasure maps.
Well, the treasure map ones are the silver ones, but the ones that are all over the place are less. But regardless, I ran out of space for money pretty quickly.
Yeah, you can get 2 different upgrades, but they're not hard to get.
I got
You know, really.
I got the 1,001 first from the because you get that in the one at the island when you gotta help Grandma with the ferry or whatever.
Yeah. And then you get another one. I was able to hold like 5,000 rupees, I think, at the end. Yeah. Something ridiculous. Or 2,000. It's something ridiculous.
5,000, I think it is.
Did everybody talk about their memories? Or do we do?
No, Dominic,
I did not.
still.
Okay.
I had forgotten.
Sidetracked.
I thought some people got. Yeah, I thought maybe somebody got skipped.
And Dominic, what's your memories of it?
I got this for my 9th birthday at the end of 03. And I had loved Ocarina of Time previously. So this was like the follow-up. I never got Majora's Mask. So this was the follow-up that I got, basically. And I loved it just as much. It's always been like one of my favorite childhood games. Even the Wii U version got very played. Like I didn't play it as much necessarily because when you're 9, you kind of play things a lot. Well, the one thing I will say is that I remember a couple years later, I was just starting this game again when my family got the call that my grandmother was on her deathbed. So it was a weirdly connective moment. Because like that whole first part of the game with the Link's grandmother being sick and everything, it really hit home that time, and that's really stuck with me ever since.
Damn, my condolences, but that definitely helps make the game resonate more.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, I'm okay. It was 20 years ago, but like,
Games do that. Like they'll stick with you. I mean, I have certain games that are going to stick with me for life events forever too. Like it's just, I mean, it's kind of after a while, especially when years pass, like, hey, I mean, to be fair, I work in senior housing, so I'm like, oh, that's part of life, unfortunately. But yeah, just be happy when you're the worst case scenario that is for me that I ever have come across, and it's just when someone's like 60 years old and has dementia, doesn't know who they are anymore. That's the saddest one, or like in their 50s.
Yeah.
Usually, if it's that young, it's because you drank from the moment you woke up and the moment you fell asleep for the last like 20, 30 years. That will do it, but it's still sad. Yeah,
if only there was a fairy that you could bring around and make people feel better.
Yeah, if only.
Yeah, if that would only work.
You guys are right. The fairies are interesting in this game. I like how you just mostly have to find them just by sailing. So one of the big hatreds of this game, too, we haven't actually talked about yet, is that this game is all about sailing. You sail across a giant sea, and that's your map. And a lot of people had a problem with that, I think. And because one, it can be a little bit slow, but to be honest, I liked it. I would just set the wind to where I wanted to and just let the game play and just be content.
Go make a sandwich, come back, see if you're there yet.
It's an open world game. It's just instead of walking, you're in a boat.
And there's not a whole lot of stuff to do.
Or whatever, yeah. It's pretty
and
spread out.
You're at the mercy of the wind, too.
I mean, when as far as like, thoughts on it when it first came out, like, I was pretty pissed that it was shorter than most Zelda games. That was my big issue with it when it came out, and that it was incredibly easy. I only died twice, like once against a pig that got mad and attacked me that I didn't know was going to happen, which is early in the game, and the other time in like the underground where we have to go through the multiple levels, like and fight all the different guys. Like I died in that also, but
that's at Ganon's Tower at the end.
There's a couple. There's also a thing for the.
There's an optional. Yeah, there's like an optional one that's like
an
endurance thing that I think.
Yes, the first time we ever saw the Savage Labyrinth.
Yeah, on like on Outset Island. That's that one. Yeah, that was the other time that I died. But I was like, yeah, it's too easy, and it has like some of the least amount of dungeons. It only has 7 dungeons, which is pretty low, I think. And some of them. You could tell that there was going to be a dungeon, but they couldn't fit it on because of the tiny GameCube disc.
So like
I do love how the
Jaban Pearl or whatever that I'm sure was originally going to be a dungeon, but they're like, oh no.
Here's the thing, though. I think that moment works really well with it not being a dungeon.
Yeah.
Sure. But I think it was originally. But because then
it was supposed to be, yes.
Then we get Twilight Princess. Then we get Twilight Princess that has like 15 dungeons. Like that game is stupid huge. Like
there's been discussion about that cut content.
Yeah. In fact, when the Wii U version was coming out, so many of us were like, "Oh, are they going to put the content back?" They didn't.
Well, supposedly they used it in Twilight Princess, right? Because they said that anything they don't use in one thing, they use in the next thing. So I guess some of those dungeons ended up in Twilight Princess, so that's why they didn't add them.
Or 15 of them.
But like that's another problem I have with Twilight Princess is that it's so into the gameplay of the formula of Zelda that like it doesn't even want to like cut the corner of being like, well, we can skip this one. It's not as important.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking main dungeons. Like in this one, there's like only really. Well, the Savage Labyrinth can't really be called a dungeon because you technically get what you need, depending on if it's...
That's not a dungeon.
You could just say that the ones that you get a map and a compass for.
Yeah.
There's not
that's
that
a
many.
dungeon.
Yeah, so that's
You know.
about 5.
Yeah, and because then you can get you would count the 4-second fortress because you get a map and a compass for that too. So
That's what I'm saying,
that's when you
5
return
total.
to.
Sure, yeah. I'm just saying it's not as far as other games. I think that's even less than what was in Majora's Mask, which was also had.
Majora's Mask had 4.
Yeah, 4.
But I mean, I guess 5 technically or whatever, because isn't there a later one at the end?
Well, the final dungeon, we never really count the final dungeon when we're talking about that stuff.
Yeah.
Not usually, no. I mean, you could, but no, not usually.
Yeah. No, you don't usually, like, Granted Time, you don't usually say Ganon's castle is a dungeon, like, because it's just
But-
like, the final area.
You also had 3, 5,
It always
8.
depends on how big it is to me, I guess, to what I think about it. But I mean, when you're a college student, you don't have any money, and you want like your one $50 game
To
or
go
whatever,
farther.
Yeah.
to be like 100 hours long, you might get a little upset when.
Well,
there's so
I
much
think that's
saving
because
you can
Zelda
do.
1 had 8 dungeons, so I feel a lot of people felt like if it had less than 8, then it was less of a game. If it had more than 8, that was awesome. And Majora's Mask was the first one to really break from that tradition. I like Link to the Past did the 3 and then the 7 to bring 10, but Majora's Mask was the first one to go under really and to only do 4. And they said, look, well, it's all about the people and like there's more to the game. And I think that's when
very
Zelda
much
started
so.
to shift away from just dungeons. And of course the Oracle games and went back to dungeons, and Four Swords went away again, and Wind Waker again. It's more about the exploration. And they even said like each of the islands is like a mini dungeon if you think about it like that.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's what they were shooting for.
I mean, I
Like,
get
like-
where you're coming from, Trey. Like, especially if I would have had played this and like, you only get so many games, you're like, man, I don't have money for this. I mean,
Yeah.
in this year, I'm like, this is wonderful, but I
like
get
it now that it's short, even though I didn't make it through for
But
the.
like, imagine if Ocarina of
but I
Time didn't have the water temple, for example, right?
No.
Like, if that was just just gone around instead, and like you just got a story moment, I think that game might be a little bit stronger for it.
Well, you also
we
had the
wouldn't
Ice
know.
Temple as a mini dungeon before that too. You could just make
Right.
it there.
Yeah.
But like, I think there's an argument to be made that like just because you have more content does not mean it is good content.
Correct.
Well, I mean, I feel that way now. I'm just saying at the time that it came out, I was mad that it was short. 'Cause, like,
Yeah.
But I think there are people that still think that even now. Like
There are.
it's the why am I paying for a Call of Duty campaign when the multiplayer is just gonna be the same?
I mean, the
There
thing
are
about
a lot of people that think that.
There are a lot of people that say, "Oh, this game is only 10 hours. It's not worth the money." It's like, but those are a good 10 hours. I'd rather have a game that's 10 hours that's amazing and tight than a 60-hour game that drags on way too long and bores me to death.
Yeah.
or a 100-hour one.
They
when
do
they're
have,
equal.
at least with this one, they had stuff that allows you to explore. I mean, let's face it, as you're sailing
Sailing along.
along,
Can't swim for very long.
Yeah. yeah, that was a nice little touch they put in there.
Yeah.
was-
You see so much stuff in here that we see in like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom later. Like the stamina meter, like with swimming, and also like the floating. Like you do in Breath of the Wild, and you see so much. In this game, like where it's like, oh yeah.
Yeah, it's where they add you're exploring the sea, and it does give that you're sailing along. Ooh, what's that structure I see there?
Yeah.
So you alter your course to check it out, and that's of course where our little fish friend comes in handy.
Hey.
Yeah, that guy.
Hey, small fry.
Yeah, I was just doing the acupuncture mini game with him too. Just fun. Yeah, putting the arrows through him.
What?
I always liked that game.
I never
What is
remembered
this?
that one.
When you go, so you talk to him once and he gives you the map, but you can go back and talk to him again after you got the arrows, and he'll jump through the air and you shoot him in the while he's in the air and he gets arrows stuck through him. And
I don't think I've ever done that.
if you get all of them, you get a bunch of rupees, at least on the Wii U version.
Okay,
Oh, that's
never
cool.
done
That.
that one.
And then when he talks to you, he still has the arrow stuck through him, which I always thought was really funny.
Oh, that's great. I love that.
And it's so much more fun on the Wii U version because it has like motion aiming and it's just or at least it's easier because you can aim with the controller and all that.
Of course, and there's also there's the whole like sailing around. That's a great way to explore the area. And I did this once when I first got the game. I actually tried to sail beyond the limits just to see what would happen.
It just flips, right? You just
Yeah.
I mean, you don't just fall off because the Earth is flat like the real Earth. What?
Man, they could have done so much for the flat earthers if they would have made it right back in 2003.
But
This
it's
would
like,
be one of the things they bring to you. See, Wind Waker, Nintendo knew.
Yeah.
well, no, it's like it's getting away from the whole tourist setup for Worlds too. I mean, they tell you can't, you get like the King of Red Lions can't go past there. There's too many storms. Which, in essence, when you're on a little boat like that, yes, that would make sense.
Oh yeah.
Like the storms that you have to deal with already fuck you up quite well.
Mm-hmm.
The cyclones, yeah. At least the really big cyclones, at least until you get the arrows.
Even then, that's still quite a feat sometimes to like battle going in a circle before it swallows you up.
What, the cyclone?
Yeah.
Well, at least it's easier with the arrows. At least you can then aim and take shot. With the cannon, it doesn't seem to go through, which I don't fully understand, but this is...
Cannon
Zelda
just
physics.
sucks.
The cannon is
I don't like the cannon.
hard to aim the arch.
It's true. It's a tricky thing, but that's one of the things. You learn to deal with that. I mean, let's face it, Mike, we had to do it in Assassin's Creed 4.
Okay, that ain't better.
And well, you also get to see where you're aiming to.
I have
You
been
don't have
sailing
the
in
arc
too many
projectile.
games this year.
Kingdom Hearts 3, Assassin's Creed 4 and 3, and now Wind Waker.
I know that wasn't on.
And when we do Freedom Cry and Rogue.
Yeah, yeah, I know.
I can't.
I've come to realize how much I like
already-
sailing.
I can't wait to be done with this so I can go back to sailing in Ease 10 Nordics.
Ooh, I'm excited to play that at some
These
point.
10 Nordics is fantastic, and that
Awesome.
sailing is really great. It's slow at the start, but it gets so much better.
Yeah,
At
it
least,
it takes a little to get used to, but it's great. Yeah, I mean it's just basically like the world map of the boat, but yeah. It's good
Yeah,
game.
and
Play the
this is
7-hour demo
also-
on Switch.
Yeah, and this is also way before we got to something like having sea shanties in the game.
Yeah,
Seems
yeah,
like we should play more East.
And we got the
I
weird.
do want to play East 3. To be honest with you, Dominic.
these games
Oh,
are great.
they're just re-releasing. Well, they're what is it?
They're putting it on Switch next year.
Oath of Felgana or whatever. Isn't that? Is
Yeah,
that 3?
I do
That
want
is
to
the
play
remake
that.
of 3, yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting that. I mean that's coming out next month.
Too many games. Yeah, I mean, I'm getting to what I can for this podcast and what I do, but just so many games. So many games.
If you ever do an Ease episode, I'll never talk to you again if you don't ask me to be on it. Because
We already did the first two.
yeah, those are hard to. Well, I'm not saying it's hard
To be
to.
fair, I think it's before we met, Trey.
What?
I think it's before we met.
Oh, you already did an Ease episode?
I did Ease in 1 and 2.
Oh, I was gonna say if you do one in the future, you should
I will be.
do an Ease 8. I love that game. That was my game of the year when that came out.
Oh, Ease 8 was fantastic. 9, 10, they're all good.
Ease 10 might be my game of the year this year. Maybe. I
That's
like
my
I like
second favorite game of the year.
Yeah, I love that game. But anyway, Zelda. But if you like Zelda, you should play Ease. Those games.
I mean,
are
they're
awesome.
very related franchises in a way. They both came up around the same time, are both
Yeah.
important to their genres.
They both have excellent soundtrack.
Like, when I was playing through Wind Waker this past week, I was thinking of all the things that people complain about, and I liked everything about this game. I even played this game with sound majority of the time. So,
Hell yeah.
Mark that on calendar.
This
Wow.
there were times when the sound came off. Like, when there was any time you see Korok, sound went off. But I fucking hate Koroks. Hate them. Like, I don't like them in this game. I don't like them in any game. I do not like Koroks with my
I
Borak.
thought they were still
Okay.
cute in this one. I mean, they always reminded me of those little clicky head guys from Princess Mononoke at the time when it came out.
They just bother me.
Well,
I
they
mean,
were.
You weren't hunting for Korok poop or whatever, you know. It wasn't. It
No,
wasn't
yeah,
like,
true.
there wasn't like 900 of them, but I thought they were really adorable, and you get to control the one and all that. It was great.
Yeah.
I didn't. Look, that was the 2 dungeons where you have to control a character. I thought were cool. My only issue was a dumb issue, and we didn't affect the gameplay. It's like, I don't want to play a song. I should just be able to talk to them because it feels wrong when I'm playing a song and taking them over because they're not statues. But I get it. The game, I get
The
gameplay.
first time Link has voice acted, you can understand.
Link is
Come on!
He's the puppet master. I
Yeah.
always like the way his hands move when he's controlling the.
You're right. It's the only time we've ever heard him say something.
Well, I mean, there's probably one of the greatest moments in Link in any game ever is the part when you're following the girl to get the bottle, and he does the cat meow when she hears the sound. Like that's my favorite. It's my favorite moment in any game ever, in any Zelda game ever.
Oh, I didn't. I played that part with no sound.
Oh, it's so funny. Yeah, it's like they hear a noise, and then Link's just there, and he's like meow. I laughed out loud.
Actually, this is something you actually learn with experience. You don't have to follow her.
No, I always had the hardest time with that doing that mission. I never could get it done on the GameCube one. I didn't finish it until the Wii U one.
It's
So this is
very
the thief,
difficult.
the thief one, right?
Yeah.
with
Yeah,
with
the
girl,
safe one. And the thing is,
where
the
the rich girl switches.
where she, yeah,
positions.
you know where she's going to end up.
Yeah.
So
You just
just
gotta plant
go below.
yourself.
All you just got to do is, like, the first time you follow her because you don't know this. But when you finally know it, you're like, okay, she's going to come to a safe. I got to catch her trying to sneak into the safe. Can't do that if I'm following her because I risk getting spied. But if I hide in this little offset area that's not too far from the safe and just watch and wait, and there she goes, watching her go over to that area and then come out on her, boom.
Yeah, if you already knew where the game was going. I mean, I followed a guy that told me, like, hide here, but there's one part where you hide and she almost always sees you. That was annoying. So I get it completely, because there is a part that's hard to miss with her where when she's near the safe and you have to stand by an arch, and I'm using save state so I can test different theories and see what works and what doesn't work. And multiple times couldn't see, like, she would just see me and I wasn't moving. So there's something in that little spot where it's hard to do. Even though I'm following the guy going right where it told me to go, it's still difficult. So it's just something to do with that scene.
Yeah. You have to really be careful when you're following somebody like that, anyhow, in real life. Because if they get a hint that you're being followed, it's like, fuck, the jig's up.
And if they see you, always make the cat noise. It works every time. No, they'll never know you're there.
I thought when you follow somebody, you just have to go sit down on a bench, and then they go, oh, he's just sitting there. There's nothing to worry about.
Well, that's Assassin's Creed. How many people are sitting on a bench in Legend of Zelda?
Or real life.
There might be one. Speaking of people in Wind Waker, I thought it was really cool. Once again playing it, is that they made the characters so unique. Like there's not like one character that you see in like every town, like you would in like a Dragon Quest game or something like that.
Yeah.
Like every character had their own like, and they do kind of have like schedules too, somewhat similar to Majora's Mask. But I was just like, I thought that was so cool. I guess there's less areas, less people, but the people that are in there, they're very distinct and they're very unique, and they all got their own thing and all that.
Yeah.
And when you specifically design all of them to look,
and that they all have individual names too.
Yeah.
I mean, let's face it, Booger Boy's name is Zill, and his brother's name is Joel. But
Booger Boy is amusing.
And it was super cinematic too. Like right from the beginning, like just the part with the sister and the bird and all that was like, it was like it already it starts pretty quick. Like what Twilight Princess takes forever to get started, it feels like, but this one's just like,
it does,
right, just gets right to it. No fucking around. It's like, all right.
Yeah. But could you imagine Twilight Princess or like a game of, if this had that art style, how like it just wouldn't be as emotive, right? It just would not be the same game. Like Link is such a distinct person.
You don't have to do all the crap you have to do, and like Twilight Princess takes forever to get anywhere. I remember that you have to like do the thing with the cat and like the fishing and all this stuff before you even get to do anything. And this one just cuts right to the chase.
Like they're so invested in Link being like an avatar for the player. When like in Ocarina of Time, he kind of has a character, but it's kind of just whatever. And this one's like, no, he has like moods. He has like little things that he does. He has the eyes that are so expressive. It just, it creates a specific, distinct version that I always liked a lot.
They do so much with it. Like I was just like my favorite part, another part that's like probably one of my favorite parts ever in any Zelda game of all time. When you go underwater, like to the castle and everything's frozen. Like when I just noticed last night for the first time, when you're going down, like Link holds his breath, like he's afraid that he won't be able to breathe underwater, and he gets hit. You can see him like him holding the breath, and then he can't hold anymore, and then he like smiles because he realizes he can breathe underwater, and it's just this really cool like animation that you could have never done, without the art style and all. It's like, wow, yeah. I never really noticed that part, when you're going down and it's actually showing him reacting to being, to going underwater, so deep underwater and all that. It's like, oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, and also it's like, it's a beautiful transition. I mean, you go from this open sea and then you see this lush land, although it's in gray for the most part until you pull the Master Sword, but it's still beautiful.
Yeah, that was, like I said, that's one of my favorite, probably like my favorite moment of all time in Zelda games is that part. It's just the frozen, the black and white, and everybody waking up, and I love that part.
Oh, yeah.
Like that was when I was trying, I knew I didn't have enough time to play through all the game for the show, but I was like, I'm at least going to get to the castle part because I love that part so much.
Yeah, it's beautiful too because it was like you're in. I mean, this game. I mean, it's like any Zelda game. It can be divided into parts. First, you're getting the pearls so that you can hopefully get the Master Sword to apparently defeat Ganon, which you find out he's looking for a girl for a reason.
I do like that.
Yeah, I always thought that was depressing too, though. Where it's like, oh yeah, you're really Zelda. You can't be a pirate anymore, so go wait in the castle until you get kidnapped. And I was like, what? that sucks.
Well, the thing was,
It's depressing. She don't get to be a pirate anymore. It's like, oh, now that you're a damsel in distress, just go wait until somebody.
And for the most part, Tetris also was very realistic about things too.
Yeah, I just felt bad for her that she couldn't be a pirate anymore.
Like she also is another person that has such character.
Be a princess now.
Yeah,
it's like she
has so much going on, and she is the captain of the ship.
Yeah.
And I just really love like all the story stuff that they did to make this game stand out so much. Like I think that's why I was ultimately disappointed in Twilight Princess, is because they went more realistic, but then everything kind of fell back into place in a Ocarina of Time-esque formula, where this felt like, no, we're gonna go beyond.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna give you characters with arcs and their own things going on, and we're gonna approach the story from a very different angle. It just works so well as like it's almost like they made their own story and then kind of like backdoored it into being a Zelda game.
Wasn't this the one that started the Hyrule Historia too? Like when they were like, oh, all the links are different. I thought
no.
It's soon though, isn't it?
Well, because this is the first time they said that there were other links.
And that's not true. Link to the Past said it was a different Link from the past.
Oh.
Zelda 1 and 2 said it was the same, but Link to the Past
did they?
Said
it's a different.
1 and 2 were the same.
Link to the Past.
1 and 2, Zelda 1 and Zelda 2, it's the same Link.
But different Zeldas.
Zelda 3, different Zeldas. A Link to the Past is, of course, they said it was set in the past. So we have another Link and another Zelda. This is for them.
Yep.
I think 4 was supposed to. Link's Awakening is between those two timelines.
It's the same Link from Link to the Past. They said that.
Fifth one, which was Ocarina of Time, this is where we start getting the differing timelines, because like Ocarina of Time, then you have Majora's Mask, which is following Link after he came back, and they warned them about Ganon, and they were able to get that through. Because Ganon tries a coup right at the time of the but all that fun stuff. But when we get to Wind Waker, which is definitely after Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons, now we see this is the timeline that when Ganon returned, there was no hero, and so the gods flooded Hyrule. So we have now a whole world that is basically covered in water. Very little in, apparently fish or food, but they somehow can survive.
I mean, to be fair, there's not a lot of people. I forget, they do talk about that, don't they? Where there's no food.
Yeah.
And if it's all salt water, you can't drink the water.
Well, you can after you distill it.
Boil it.
Or desalinize it.
You have to get the special water from the Great Deku Tree or whatever. I didn't like the way his face looked either.
I never got any of the water from him, other than the one time the game made me.
Yeah, I know there's like you got to bring it to the one dude, right? That's probably what you need.
There's withered trees.
The withered trees, you got to help them. That's a side quest, but you can only really start that once you get the whole map.
Yeah, because you need to be able to fly, you teleport places, and I didn't bother. I didn't do any side quests.
Map.
Or not much.
I did it, but one thing I do not like is when a game has a day-night cycle, but it also does something that's in real time to you.
Oh, you mean like where the stuff expires after 30 minutes?
20 minutes, but yeah.
20 minutes, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
it's 30 minutes in the Wii U version, I guess.
It's 20 minutes on GameCube.
Yeah, they made it longer.
They changed it because it sucks. I always hated that so much, like the fucking water quests.
But like, why have a day-night cycle if you're not going to abide by it?
Yeah, you can't let Ganon curse the water like he did in that one part of the game where he's like, oh, no, it's night all the time because of Ganon. It's like, well, can we just say the water's fine also? Because of Ganon. Make an excuse.
Plot device things.
Because no, it's it's because of the evil, and that makes water fine. So you don't have to wait, so it doesn't have to become not whatever.
Yeah, but I mean, I like that as you go to each island, things progress as you're advancing your quest. Life changes like it's advancing with everything you complete, which is a beautiful thing. I mean, you first leave Outset Island, and of course, you come back, and the grandmother's not feeling best. She's missing both Link and Errol, and that's why you have to go get Fairy. But you also find out, it's like, oh yeah, remember that little pig? It's a big pig now! And we named it after you.
I did not mess with that one. I know what you're talking about, but yeah, I didn't mess with it. I did very few heart pieces in this game.
Oh, I did a few, but I didn't do all of them.
I did like 4. Like that's. I mean, I got 3 just by accident, and then I found
Same, and then I just went and got one more just to complete a heart. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to get any more hearts because I don't care enough. So
yeah, the 4th one I got was the auction because I wanted to get the speed sale or the swift sale in the Wii.
Yeah.
I love so much in the
that
Wii
wasn't
U.
in my auction. I tried because the guide lied to me and then I didn't realize it said Wii U only.
Yeah, it's not in there. No, the swift sale was the coolest thing ever because you sail faster and also the wind changes wherever you turn to. So it's like this is fucking rad. So that was
okay. That is cool.
Like
I didn't know the wind turns with you.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
The wind changes with whenever you turn, which is great. But I love the Wii U version so much. Like, and you know, you can change your weapons on the fly with the dual screen, and also look at the map like whenever you want with the dual screen. And you got the motion aiming also. Like they were going to include all this stuff in Breath of the Wild originally, you know, before it went to Switch, which always like kind of made me angry because I wanted the Breath of the Wild where I could use 2 screens. But
yeah,
you know, they didn't want to make the Wii U one better than the Switch. So
I mean, I get it, and they made the right decision to wait and not put it on the damn Wii U because the Wii U was dying. So
well, they still put it on there. But
they did put it on the Wii U.
I know, but not exclusive.
I wanted it, well, not exclusively, but I wanted it to have the same abilities that you could do for Twilight Princess and Wind Waker. You know, where you could switch the stuff on the screen and have your map down there and all that. You know, I love that shit. Like,
I wonder if that's why we haven't gotten them on Switch yet because they're worried about the switching with the touchscreen stuff.
I don't think they. I mean, it was an added thing. Like there was no touchscreen on GameCube, so that they don't.
Unless the Switch 2 also has a touchscreen that's dual screen.
I would love that.
I hope not.
I mean, that would be great if we could find a way to have 2 screens, but not like I don't know. I mean, I
like the flexibility to have 2 or 1, and then cast to your TV as well if you want.
Yeah. I would love that. I mean, I was still a big supporter of Wii U, and I loved how well it did like DS games and stuff like that. I mean, even on the Spirit Tracks one, I talked about how I played Spirit Tracks on the Wii U, you know, with the dual screens and all that, and it's great.
Like the having the 2 screens seems like a minor thing now, but it was such a game changer. Even like it just affects the pacing of everything. Like playing a game like Ace Attorney without the dual screen, it just feels more like you're going through a menu.
Well, and even on this one, even the small things, like when you bring up the Wind Waker and you want to do the different songs, like all the songs are on the touchscreen, like are on the Wii U screen. So
that's cool.
In case you don't know what they are, they're right there. It's like here's all the songs you learned. So if you want to play them, here's what they are. And I was like, that's so fucking cool. It's just the small things, but it just made it like so much lovelier to play.
I can see that.
It's definitive edition.
I would have liked that because I forgot some of the songs were ingrained in my head during the majority of this game, but then I would play the wrong songs when I was trying to play something else, and I'm like, every song I had to look, but it would have been nice to have them right there and not have to memorize them.
Yeah.
And it's hard, but still, I just don't like memory.
Well, actually, with some of the side quests and all that, yeah, you do have to take you would think that you don't need all you need. There's one song you could do without. It's the Song of Passing.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's nice to have. Yes.
It is nice to have when you're
and I love that. I love that disco guy.
Yeah,
the disco guy with the fringe and the
Nintendo and their disco guys in the 2000s. It was that and Mirror B and Pokemon Coliseum.
See, what was his name?
That was another super memorable part for me. It was like when he's like doing the dance and he's like, oh, and does a little like.
Oh yes, his name is
Sound design. So good. What's his name?
But see, this is when Nintendo knows what we need, what we want, what we need, but don't know we need. Like, you know, because
the disco guy,
everything. I mean, it's just the theme of this game and how well this game holds up. 20 years later, we're talking about it, and it still holds up great. Like the graphics are great. Like it didn't age badly. Like you look at some stuff from this era, and it's like, woo.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean that's because they didn't try to make it look realistic. You know, they made it look gorgeous, and it's like
it's a decision
that will forever look amazing.
Yeah, it was a decision that people lampooned when it came out, and then you look back and it says, "Wow, they actually did make the right decision," because this is one of those looks that stays.
Oh yeah. If anything, it's only in the DS ones where it looks a little bad because it just doesn't look as good.
Yeah.
I still want a true like Wind Waker sequel, like a true like HD Wind Waker where it's on the water, but the islands are like a lot bigger, and like I don't know. I would like to Switch 2, Wind Waker 2. That's what I want. A true sequel, not the DS one.
The only way they could do that would be to either set it before the Spirit Tracks timeline or time period or after, because if they were to do it immediately after Wind Waker, it would have to be another character completely, because we know Wind Waker Link gets on a ship right away and leaves, which is where Phantom Hourglass takes place.
Yeah. Well, they could like Metroid Prime it and put it between like 1 and 2. Just be like, here it is.
It could, even though we told you Link immediately left with Tetra on their voyage that led to Phantom Hourglass, he really took a 100-hour detour. Let's talk about that.
I mean, why not? I never really cared about the separate timelines or Historias or whatever the fuck. Like, who cares? I just want to.
People do.
I know, but not everything has to connect.
Nintendo also does not super care, I don't think.
They don't seem to care anymore, I don't think.
Well, no, they do. They even put Echoes of Wisdom in the timeline.
Yeah, but they just kind of throw it to the side, like with the Breath of the Wild or whatever. I don't know. I don't.
No. It's actually in the timeline. Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom come at like the end, like the merging of them all.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I don't care about any of that.
Yeah, I like timelines and stuff a lot, but Zelda is one of those places where I'm like, it doesn't matter.
I never cared, but I mean, sure, there were different links in the other one, but this was the first time I remember specifically Miyamoto being like, oh, there were different links. And I was like, I never cared. They're all different games. Who cares?
If only they could be as simplistic and straightforward as the Ys series.
Sure.
Oh, yeah. Where they're all back and forth and all different time periods.
It's just another chapter in Adol's story.
Yeah, he even has like a death. They actually have the day when Adol dies, and I'm like, I don't want to know that. Don't Kirk me again here. Be like, here's where the end is. It's like, come on, he can have later adventures. Like, don't do that.
Okay, apparently now the official Zelda timeline. Let's see here. Wind Waker is the hero is triumphant. Adult is part of the Ocarina of Time. It is the hero is triumphant. Adult era. Hyrule is sealed and then flooded.
Yep.
So that is Wind Waker, then Phantom Hourglass, and then a new Hyrule is founded, and that was what leads us to Spirit Tracks.
That's it. That's the whole timeline.
Now there's the Child Era, which is then Majora's Mask, and then Twilight Princess, and then Four Swords.
What was Adventure specifically?
Yeah, because Four Swords is earlier in the timeline.
I need to play both those Four Swords games someday.
But what sucks is the best version of Four Swords is you can't get anymore because it was the anniversary that was download only on DSiWare.
The best version.
You can still get it.
GameCube one.
That's a different game.
Yeah, it's two different games. You can still get the DSi one that you're talking about.
I know that. I'm just saying that's the one I like the best.
It's not easy to get.
Four Swords in the title.
You're right, but I mean, you can't get it legally.
Yeah, no, which sucks. I mean, all this stuff with such a big franchise, all this stuff should be available legally to buy in some shape or form because they're timeless games. Like, I think it's like Wind Waker should really be re-released because people would love this game, but I feel like they're just holding their cards until
they did re-release the original Four Swords on NSO, so maybe they'll do Anniversary Edition, which added all the extra content.
I hope they do because I also want to play those, and I don't really like messing with DSi stuff too much.
Yeah,
because it's hard to find. Like some of those things on the internet. I mean, they exist, and I'm a guy who knows how to sail when it comes to ROMs, but it's difficult to find some.
Well, and if you want to play the superior one, in my opinion, the GameCube one, I mean, you got to get Game Boy Advances and Game Boy connectors and friends who actually want to play it with you. Because if you play it by yourself, it's going to be pretty fucking boring.
Yeah, I still have the link cable for.
It's a lot more fun with people.
Game Boy.
It is more fun with people, but at least it's beatable. Like Triforce Heroes is I think almost impossible without people next to you to beat.
Yeah, I actually like Triforce Heroes. I think I have a few people that liked it. Hey, if you ever want to do one of those. Well, no, we can't. There's no internet anymore. I was going to say, we can actually get it working, but no, the 3DS internet's gone, so never mind.
When Games My Mom Found Con happens, you have to have a special session where everyone just gets together to play the co-op games that you can't play otherwise.
Okay. Yeah, the ones that, and let's do Federation Force too. I just wanted to get through that. I know people hate it, but I liked it.
I think they should do a re-release on the Switch for like the Zelda multiplayer. Do Four Swords Anniversary, Four Swords Adventures. With the third Tetra game that wasn't there in Triforce Heroes. Put it all together.
I mean, I had a lot of fun with that game when it first came out, and there were people online, but that disappeared.
Yeah, but people just kept picking you up and throwing you in the damn pits. I went to a friend's house and we all played through it together to beat it, and it was still tough.
Yeah, the people that I played with were a little bit nicer, but there was a whole lot of yelling through the stickers or whatever you use on there.
It is a tough
I
game.
tried
because you couldn't talk.
I would love to have a game by Mom Phone Con, but I don't ever see that happy. Let's just show blows up at some point in the future.
Well, just go to another con and have a meetup. Go to Midwest Gaming Classic or something and have.
I really should go to some of those.
Meetup.
Okay, now
There's one monkey.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Midwest
talking
Gaming
about.
Classic.
That's Midwest Gaming.
You go to that.
Now, I was just looking things up here with our Zelda timeline. As of right now, Breath in the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are a completely separate timeline.
Yep,
From
most
Legend
people
of Zelda.
feel that they all combine because if you play Breath of the Wild, there's reference to Twilight, there's reference to the Wind Waker, so it's like,
But
all
right
the time
now, it's being kept separate for some reason.
too hard to fit it in.
Of Tears of the Kingdom is though set directly after it. The new game, the newest one, Echoes of Wisdom, that's set after Triforce Heroes.
So
And
Triforce
before
is it in the same timeline as
Legend
Four
of Zelda.
Swords also, or is that?
Everything's in the same timeline as Four Swords.
no.
Four
Is Four
Swords
Swords on the-
happens.
When
It-
Link for it, Ocarina of Time, the hero is defeated, which leads to the imprisoning war and to the past and Link's awakening. Ocarina of Ages and Ocarina of Season, A Link Between Worlds, Triforce Heroes, and Echoes of Wisdom.
Zelda 1 and 2 after that.
Yep.
But Four Swords happens before Ocarina of Time. It's
Yeah.
Skyward Sword, Four Swords, and then Ocarina.
Oh yeah, Four Swords does happen before Ocarina of Time.
So it's in every timeline.
Is
Yeah,
there
so
any?
when it-
Is there any timeline? Where's Wind Waker at? Is
That's in the
its
adult.
own thing, or did it like?
Adult timeline.
Adult timeline, the hero is triumphant in Ocarina of Time, and adult era that continues from the adult era of Hero of Time. Hyrule is flooded because Ganon returns. Wind Waker then happens, and Phantom Hourglass, and then Spirit Tracks.
Yeah, no, I know all those. I wish I thought it was that it was like sort of a sequel to Ocarina of Time, but it's a different timeline, right? Because Link's not there.
It's the adult. After he goes back.
Now, when the hero is Triumphant Child era, that's Majora's Mask, Twilight Princess, and Four Swords Adventure.
It's kind of funny if you think about it.
Happen after because isn't there an ending in Zelda 2 where like Link dies?
That's the last one.
Did they make a world after that? Like Dragon?
Oh yeah, technically there is
Dark World.
There is. You're right. Ganon returns when you die. But if you think about it, poor Vati is in the adult timeline.
Make a game of that world.
In Wind Waker, Vati is stuck in the Four Swords on the bottom of the ocean floor and never gets freed. Because in the child timeline, he gets freed in Four Swords Adventures, and in the defeated timeline, he gets freed in A Link to the Past. But in the or in the adult timeline, he's just stuck.
I think I mentioned this in the Spirit Tracks one, but I wanted the official Wind Waker the official Wind Waker sequel where you have to pull the sword out of Ganondorf's head to fight some other bigger bad, and then team up. And then maybe you team up, or you got to fight him also. And it's just such a cool sequel waiting to happen there, and it never happened. It's like
I do love.
Well, you could follow Twilight Princess and do the same thing if you think about it.
You can't pull the sword out of his head. I just
Did
that.
they ever go back to in Phantom Hourglass or Spirit Tracks what's going on with that statue of Ganon?
Does he have a sword?
I don't think so. No, Ganon's not in Phantom Hourglass or Spirit Tracks.
I don't remember seeing Ganon at all in those games.
You don't.
So
remember
there could be a sequel following those.
Yeah, go back to the sword in the head, Ganon.
When I first saw that scene of him putting the sword in his head when I was in high school, I was like, "Damn, this is badass!" Because I didn't have that spoiled for me. When I finally beat this game and I saw it, I was like, "Okay, I did not expect that."
I didn't expect that either.
Who said it wasn't mature? It's like, fuck you. Put the sword in his head.
It's like it's one of those. Damn, don't expect it. It's something that just catches you off guard entirely. You're looking at a style, you're thinking, "This is so cartoonish. This is so cartoonish. This ain't cartoonish anymore." It's like.
Well, I think the biggest thing they wanted to do is the expressions with Wind Waker, and the cartoon aspect allowed them to be way more expressive with the characters' faces and dealing with things and reacting to things. And that has really held up over time. And you're right, you can't do that with a lot of other games, not in the same way.
Yeah, and let's even face it, since he's mentioned the ending, let's face it, when we're playing the whole game and we're learning about the characters, this is about the first time in any of the Zelda games, you actually want to feel sympathy for Ganon.
Because he got a sword in his head.
No. I mean, think about it. He comes from the desert.
He just wanted
Gerudo
everything
lived
to
in
be.
the
He
desert.
just wanted everything to be wet. He's like, I hate sand too.
It's the same plot as Pokemon Sapphire.
He was a bit envious of
water.
He was very
Right, yeah.
envious of Hyrule because, let's face it, in the day you can die in the desert because of the heat. In the night you can die in the desert because of how damn cold it can get.
But also, don't forget, the desert, you can't remember your name because there's no one to give you no name. So, there's that too. I love that song. But, no, that is kind of ironic how he goes from a desert to an ocean. Because if you remember, an ocean is like a desert with his life underground. So,
Yeah.
Also a line from that song, too, by the way.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, that's from another thing, right?
It's also from Horse with No Name.
Hmm.
I really, really like America, by the way. I actually see them in concert once in my life. Unfortunately, only once. But
Definitely not the country, right?
And
no, I'm not too fond of the country, but I live here, so.
Yeah, well.
But it's also, the gods basically threw you away when he's kind of right. Everybody's stuck on little islands that were actually the tops of the mountains. There's hardly any life. So they're managing to survive somehow, but that's not really sustainable.
Yeah, I agree. Though he is more of the sympathetic character for the first time versus the haha I'm bad because I'm bad or I'm cunning because I need to be and like just evil for evil's sake.
Yeah,
he's
that
more of a
was
character.
and that was
He's so
Ocarina of
angry-
Time's downfall of anything was the
He's
evil
so
for
angry
evil's sake.
that he's got all those ladies. He's just so mad about it. He's the only dude in the Gerudos. He's so pissed about it. It's like, I need to go fight a kid now.
But they're all his cousins.
Oh, well, maybe so.
I mean, that's another reason to be upset. You're surrounded by women that are all related to you, so,
Yeah,
I
he's
mean.
like- I was going to say, isn't he like I don't know.
At
How do
least
they, how do
that's
they, how do they reproduce?
Well,
They have to
that's-
find somebody from
kidnap
outside
men.
the
They do mate with other species.
Oh,
yeah, I mean, that's at
they
least
didn't wanna
something
cross the line.
that Breath of the Wild sort of said.
I think
He is
Ocarina,
part pig, don't forget.
Ocarina made a comment about it too, I think, where Gerudo would just like kind of kidnap men and sleep with them and
Yeah.
then send them back.
Yeah,
Why else do they have the carpenters all hanging out?
You're like, you're maters.
I was going to say, I don't think they sleep with the carpenters.
They could.
Saying,
Well,
I don't think the
well,
carpenters
they were locked there for a while, right?
Yeah.
also, a male was only born to the tribe like every 1,000 years or something like that.
Yeah, they just
Yeah.
keep giving birth to female.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I mean, in Breath of the Wild, it's a little bit different now because, you find out that, hey, this is a term we have for a Gerudo male. This is a term we have for a Gerudo female.
Yeah, but there's still only one every 1,000 years for Gerudo
Well,
male.
no, I mean, you actually can run into others males aren't allowed in the city.
Yeah, males
thinking
as
of-
in other species. Males.
Yeah, but not Gerudo males are
Not
only
Gerudo males.
It's only
It's
one every
highly
1,000.
males.
And let's face it, why did they have, like in Breath of the Wild, why do they have clothing for males?
They don't have clothing for males.
Yeah, they
That's
do.
why Link dresses
Well,
up in the game.
Yeah,
Well-
but they do have it.
You mean the store?
Yeah, there is a store that that mentions for a Gerudo male.
Well, they got to make money somewhere.
It's probably sitting there and it's dusty and like, oh, you actually want to buy this thing? Okay.
Or, I mean, do they adopt the men that they kidnap as part of the tribe when they give birth or something?
Or they
No.
steal their clothes.
Maybe,
Or
maybe
they
it's a
live
gift
in
to
a
them.
separate area.
They put him back in the desert and say, you got to take care of yourself now, kid.
Or
That's
a
what the
living
Oasis is
area.
for.
Yeah, so we can also discuss those semantics later. I mean, you don't see the Gerudos in this one, and I actually watched a video. It was about the ghost ship that they suspect that the Gerudos were what was used to be the pirates that were on the people who were on the ghost ship.
That side quest also fucked with me.
I didn't like that one.
Because I thought it was like a thing you had to read on the map where it's like this the waning or the waxing of the moon determined where the ship was going to be on the map. Because then you have like these little symbols the map kind of has inked in a little bit you can read into. No, it was never in the spot where I thought it was going to be. It was just kind of guess and check.
If you look at the map, once you get the ghost ship chart, you can see where the ghost ship will show up on the main map.
Right.
And if you go like to that section, especially, I know I saw it when it was in the section it was in, because I went to it when it was around the angelfish. What the hell did they name that island where you're supposed to find Jabun?
Oh,
Great
I don't-
fish.
Great fish.
There's a lot of islands.
The one that's
Yeah.
destroyed.
Yeah, each night that's where the the Song of Passing really comes in helpful. He was like, why should I bother trying to sail to this location? I could sail to this nearby location, which actually I don't even have to sail to it. I just call on the cyclone dude to,
But-
you know.
Yeah, I think I did this out of order where I didn't have that stuff yet, and I was doing it.
Yeah, I mean, you go through technically the proper order that you really have to go through. Technically, you have to go. Of course, you go from Outset to the Forsaken Fortress, then end up on Windfall. You go once you get a sail. You go to Dragon Roost. You clear the dungeon there, meet Medley and all that. You then go south to Forest Haven. Meet Mecker, meet the Great Deku Tree, rescue Mecker, get the second pearl. You're then supposed to head off to Great Fish Isle. You find out that the pirates were there too, but they went to Windfall Island because they need to get the cannon. And of course, well, you know, checking out there, Tetra sees Link, and then she decides, okay, yeah, we could stay here. You go in and get aboard on the ship, get the bomb so you can have the cannon. You hear Tetra say, yeah, I saw you there. But once the day breaks, we're going to make our way back to Outset Island. You go to Outset, you meet. Day doesn't break because plot device.
Ganon kept at night.
Yeah.
Party, so you can party forever.
You can stop in, take care of some things in town and at home, heal your grandmother. Go to that cave in the back, blow it open, talk to Jaboon, then go to the 3 Triangle Islands, which is, I gotta say, because that's, placing the pearls, you form at the points of the Triforce shows on the ocean, the Tower of the Gods pops up out of the ocean in an epic thing.
Of course.
That's a dungeon too.
And of course, it's like, I just love it. They have it designed just right. So you can put them on in any order. And Link's like, nothing happened except that, and then boom, and he goes flying.
Oh yeah, and then he hits the tower.
Hits the tower. Red Lion's there. Go in the tower, get the bow and arrow, prove your worth to the thingy. Who even if you run out of hours, he'll.
That's a good boss fight. That is actually a really good boss fight.
The snot arrow. Was my nickname earlier. Your middle name. He gives you the snot arrow. It's like, here, please kill me.
And after you get rid of him and get up to that bell, you ring the bell using the grappling hook, giving yourself a nasty case of tinnitus.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah, it was fun to ring it with the rope thing, the grappling.
Oh yeah,
I appreciate the grappling hook in this game. And I forgot that you get the hook shot too in this game because I thought the grappling hook just replaced the hook shot, but you get both, which
is
weird.
Great.
But yeah, it was a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, after you do all that, free the sword, slay all the baddies, get out of there. Go to face Ganon at the Forsaken Fortress as well. Get his one badass hammer. I love that hammer. I love
that hammer's super.
I mean, it's kind of funny when you have the dinks running around, mini bokoblins, whatever you want to call it. Frick their name. I'm going to look that damn thing up. Smack them. It's like they go splat. They're flattened. Kind of funny. Whack! Flat. Yep, he's flat. Okay. Makes it fun. Crack the damn Helmarock King, whatever they called it.
The bird? The masked bird, whatever.
Yeah, that was annoying.
The bird noise was really funny. Where the other ones where it's like...
Yeah.
But when you're walking around and it's like grunting.
Yeah, the birds. It's like I heard sounds like that come from my daughter when she was a baby.
Yeah, that is I mean, yeah, I've heard little babies they scream like that too.
Helmarock King. No, the sound I'm talking.
Whenever it came out, it was around the time of when Anna Nicole Smith had what was it? The one porn star that married the old dude.
She
wasn't a porn star, I don't think yet. Maybe I'm wrong.
I thought she. Whatever, doesn't matter. Anyway, she had a show where she was really annoying, and I would always compare the bird noise to her. Whenever I heard it on Wind Waker, I was like, "That's what she does. Just goes around and goes."
Yeah, let's see.
Did any of you guys ever get all the statues and stuff with the pictures?
I did that. No. A beautiful thing.
I did it. The only way I did it was with the Wii U one, and I wanted to mention, how you could do that on that one because they had the Miiverse, which you can't do anymore because Miiverse doesn't exist. But you could get bottles in the water that had pictures of like, you know, bosses and stuff that you hadn't got to, or I think the Wii U one also gives you the camera at the very beginning, no matter how you play it. Like you start with the camera. But that was like the only way I could do it, because otherwise, in the second quest, you get the camera early, and that's how you can take pictures of the early bosses and get the statues.
But
and
you also get the black and white camera and the GameCube
Well,
one
no,
first.
actually, you could. The way I did it when I did it long ago, you know, I had every room, I had all those statues. I was like, how many statues? Because I have the guide here. Like stuff.
The statues you guys are talking about.
When you get all the
figurines.
pictures.
There's the guy. There's a guy.
I didn't.
Wherever the tree is, the Deku tree. There's like that side island, and there's a guy down there. Yeah, you bring him pictures, and he'll make like little sculptures of different characters.
Okay.
Which add extra collectability stuff to it, and I thought it was really, really cool. But yeah, some of them, there's like some missable ones that you can only get in the second quest, right? In the first one, I think in the GameCube one. Or maybe there's some bosses you couldn't take pictures of because you didn't have the camera yet.
I just remember you couldn't do much in the first one because you only had the black and white camera. Then you had to wait for the color one in the Hero Quest to actually do it.
I didn't do any of that.
But the coolest thing in the Wii U one is what I wanted to say is they had these bottles in the water that it was like internet connectivity. So somebody could take a picture and send it into the water, and you would find it from another game, and you could turn off, obviously you could turn off like spoilers if you didn't want to see like bosses that you hadn't seen yet or whatever. But that's how I collected all of the statues in the Wii U one from collecting the internet bottles from Miiverse and all that. And I just thought that was such a really, really cool thing that they put in there to help you get it. And I was like, that's awesome. You know, you find a bottle and somebody had taken a picture of a thing that you don't have yet, and you take it to the dude and he'll make the statue for you. It makes it more attainable to get all of them.
It is actually very attainable to do it in the first quest.
Oh, really?
Well,
yes,
it's less annoying. You don't have to wait for the color camera and all that.
First off, you got it. I mean, you get the camera on Windfall, so you can do that even on your first visit.
You can get the color camera on Windfall?
You get the camera.
Oh, yeah.
But you can get I didn't mess with any of that.
To get it to go in color, there is like a multicolored firefly on Forest Haven.
Okay.
So when you catch that, take it back to Windfall, you get the color camera.
Oh, I never knew this.
Yes. So then, but you get legendary pictures for certain ones that will give you some of the bosses, some of the characters you can't really go back to get a picture of. Like you can't go into Jaboon's lair and take a picture of Jaboon.
Yeah.
Right.
Not necessarily easy to get probably a good proper picture of the great Deku tree either. And of course, you can't get a picture of the king.
No, that makes sense. I mean, you barely see him in this game as the king. But I also do like how the king is the boat. I think that's a cool touch. Like when I first found that out all these years ago, I remember like, what? Wow! Like it is cool.
But his name is so ridiculous too.
That's what I'm saying. I just saw it. It's like Daphne Hyrule, or it's so
King Daphnis No Hansen Hyrule.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Daphnis No Hansen Hyrule. Like your last name is Hyrule? Come on, stupid. I'm the king of Hyrule. My name is Hyrule. They named it after me.
Well, let's face it. Past used to be a condition, like to name someone, you put in their name from where they're from, like in Italy, Da Vinci, Leonardo of Vinci.
Ezio Auditore da Firenze.
Yes, Ezio Auditore of Florence.
To Hyrule. No hands to Hyrule.
But to get like the bosses of the first two dungeons, you can get them when you're doing Ganon's Tower.
You have to, unfortunately. I didn't really like the refights. I mean, it's kind of cool that you're going back in time fighting the bosses because you only have the equipment you would have had when you first fight them. But there was a part of me that's kind of like, you're making me think I'm in a Mega Man game.
It's a boss rush. That's very common.
Yeah.
I know, but I don't like it.
They like doing that.
Yeah, well, they don't. It's, I think, one of the few Zelda games that they did do something like that.
I did like going back to the Forsaken Fortress with with all your weapons. The second time around, it's so much quicker.
Oh yes, definitely.
I remember getting so lost in that as a child because it was my first time having to deal with stealth.
Yeah, it's very confusing.
Yeah, and the first thing, I mean, this is where you can also get your first heart piece in the game. You didn't know where
I found it. I found it this time around.
But one of the things, like, after you get, of course, the sword and try and beat Ganon with it, but it's lost part of its power. So you have to go to the temples that were housing the sages that went missing. Well, we can't really go outside the castle because of the barrier. So you have to hit it from above, but you have to find the sages. And of course, it's hinted that the Koroks are literally what used to be the Kokiri.
Yeah.
I do think that's cool how those two different species changed after all these years.
All
I
those
think
children became spirits or sprites or whatever.
Yeah, I think that's a really cute element that they go for in this game.
But the Ruto are supposed to be descended from the Zoras.
Yes, which makes zero sense, but yes.
Yeah, but also doesn't make sense that's the Earth Temple for the Zora.
And there's like there's no Gorons, or there's maybe one. Isn't there like one wearing
There
like a
are
helmet or
3
something?
Gorons that are traveling merchants.
Yeah. I remember they had like a little camp on there.
Yeah, it's sort of like that's how you're supposed to move things along to get the magic armor.
I didn't mess with that. I did do some of the trading quests, then I walked away.
Yeah, I didn't even know some of this stuff. I'm still shocked there's so much happening.
There's a lot to this game. I do want to talk about the boss fights. I think all the boss fights are pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
Barry, did you have a favorite boss fight?
Honestly, the Goma fight for me was my favorite, even though it was the first one, just because you got the grappling hook. And like you guys mentioned earlier about like the hook shot, we thought it was a replacement for the hook shot, especially at the time. And just to be able to do that and like swing over the boss and stuff, like that was just so cool. And it was just so unique.
Drop that rock on his head.
Yeah,
I like how it's all connected too. Like it's like they're upset because of the dragon be upset, and the dragon is upset because of the monster under the dragon, which you have to fight. Like it was really cool how it was all connected like that.
Oh yeah.
And I think this is one of the first times I saw like outdoor and indoor. Well, I guess sort of in Ocarina of Time, but it was more noticeable the outdoor and indoor dungeons. Where you go like to the on the inside. At least I noticed it more on this one. I know you can kind of do it in Forest Temple and Ocarina of Time.
It's more real. It's more. I mean, outdoor, indoor dungeons. It's better done in this one than they did in Ocarina of Time. With the few times you actually had it in Ocarina of Time, which I think was only like Spirit Colossus. But yeah, this was nice. I mean, it's like I love that grappling hook too. I mean, that was so much fun because it's like, whack, hey, I want that from you. Give me that belt. I want that. Give me that.
I did not do that this time.
I remember being really impressed by the being able to target multiple things with the boomerang too. Like that.
Oh yeah, 5 targets.
Oh, whoa. Yeah, like that was a big deal.
Oh yeah, and
that's could you always move around in the first person mode in the GameCube one? Like where you can
I don't
move while you're aiming.
You can look at it, but I don't think you can. You can't move
while you're aiming.
Is it? Yeah. Okay. Well, that was a Wii U update too. Because in the Wii U one, you can move around in first person, so you could kind of make it a first person shooter, sort of, if you wanted.
I wish I did want to play the Wii U version. Like, I actually got the ROM of it, but they're encrypted, and I just didn't care enough to put it on the Steam Deck. I'm like, I'm just gonna play.
Yeah, and you wouldn't be able to do all the.
No, because I'm not playing it on the Wii U, and I could have played it on the Wii U. I just didn't. There was no part of me that wanted to just go through that. Even I thought about it, but then again, like it worked. One reason I got through this game as quick as I did, which wasn't that quick, was because I was able to play this in a car.
Yeah.
God, I love the Steam Deck is so fucking worth it. My God, I will never stop praising that system.
That's actually one of the most fun battles in the game.
I didn't have a problem with any of the boss fight. The only one that did bother me is the one for the hook shot, that sand ray thing.
That was fun. I like
that's hard.
I completely lost you. Did you?
Yeah, I echoed for a second. I don't know why.
Did you? Did you hear me? You can't do gyro stuff with the.
No, we heard you.
With the Zoom Deck, right? Or with the Steam Deck?
No, I couldn't. I don't know. I don't think I can, no.
I will say that's not possible, though, for any game. You can't.
No, it doesn't have that capability. It does have a touchscreen, so you can play a lot of things on touchscreen like people do. Like, you can easily emulate DS on there, and I think you can do 3DS, too. Well, you can. I just haven't messed with any of... I have a DS that I use for all my... with a flash card, so that's my DS. I don't have any way to play 3DS games other than legitimately buying them, unfortunately. But
okay. So yeah, I was just curious because I don't think it had a. So you can't do any of the.
No, you're missing out by not having the actual Wii U experience, which I had wanted to play this game and had meant to play it. I don't know. I hated the Wii. And I just never got around to it after beating Twilight Princess. We didn't move till 2020, and I would have had this. I don't know why I didn't get to it. I just didn't.
Well, you got to it now. That's what matters.
I mean, then I was waiting for the Switch. So.
Not the Wii U one, though.
What happened was when the Wii U version came out, you bought it and you said, you know what? I'm gonna wait for the Switch port before I play this.
Wasn't the Switch not out when you?
It wasn't out. No, of course not. It was a joke.
Sure.
No, but I bought the Wii U version
Mike can
probably
see
in
the- can see the
2018,
future.
2019. I probably bought it after the Switch was already out. I'm pretty sure I did. So, but no, I had meant to play it. I just didn't get around to it. And then for this podcast, I meant to put it, but then I kept postponing because I'm like, oh, Switch is coming. And then at this point, I'm like, it ain't coming. So I'm just going to buy it. I'm just going to put it on the show. Fuck it. Also, this is the last game. This is the last game episode people will hear before the new year.
Happy
wow.
New Year.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Last of 2024.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
But
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
depending on other bosses to mention, there are bosses that I want to talk about. What else is there? There's the big flower thing, which is fine for the Deku place. For the Kokor.
Puppet Ganon.
Yeah. Puppet Ganon was cool.
It's
Okay, Puppet Ganon gave me a lot of trouble, but it is a cool boss.
It's like Phantom Ganon and Puppet Ganon. I don't think I said it earlier, but that mini boss song fucking rocks. Like that's like one of my favorite Zelda
Oh,
games
yeah.
ever. I love that song so much.
Oh, yeah, that is nice.
They always have at least one Shadow Ganon fight.
They have to.
Phantom Ganon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shadow Ganon's close. I mean, technically, this looks like a shadow, not a phantom like it does in Ocarina of Time, but I do love that damn design in Ocarina. Oh.
Yeah, you gotta have the Dead Man's Volley game.
I enjoy the volleyball game. I've enjoyed it ever since we had it in Link to the Past with a bug catching net.
It's always a relearning curve for me of like, okay, I have to hit it at this point instead of this point.
On the last bit in this one, you had to hit the button as soon as it hit him. You had to hit the button pretty much because it comes so fast.
The windup is so ridiculous sometimes.
Mm-hmm. I didn't get hit much with it. I actually got good at it. Like I was surprised that my timing was just there, which is not always the case with games I play.
How does everyone feel about the big ass Poe? That boss battle.
Which one?
The Poe that looks like a pig that you hit with a light because you get with the Mirror Shield dungeon, and then you have to
pick them up and roll them into a spike pillar and.
Oh yeah,
it's dumb.
It was annoying.
That always happens.
Yeah, it's not. It has its own fun factor, but yeah, it is on the dumber side. I mean, it's one of the more sillier battles that they've had, I think, in the Zelda games. Or like the ending. It's like the ending of the Arachnogoma battle in Twilight Princess.
I like the sound it makes when their sword swipe hits him.
Yeah.
Feels like you're cutting them open.
Good in this game. Really
Oh
good.
god, yeah.
So sound design too. Like it's and also like the different notes of when you hit with the sword. So like,
Oh yeah.
dun, 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 dun.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, the parry sound.
Oh yeah, that's amazing
Yeah.
too.
And then like all of it's so memorable. Like even I like I said, I played through it many times, but I'll never forget like the boat. Like it is like hey, when he calls you on the stone. Like just the voices is amazing.
This game also has one of the freakiest redeads.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Those. It's weird how you make them cartoony, but they're creepier than they are in Ocarina of Time, where they are not cartoony.
And these are the ones where they like jam their chin into you.
Yeah.
They just try to chin you to death.
God, they're freaky.
They bothered me.
Another fun thing they have in this game is we were talking about taking over the statues and your companions. You can also take over the seagulls.
Oh
Yeah, with the pair.
with the pair, the Hori pair, or how
Like,
you pronounce it.
That's such a weird idea. Who came up with that? I fucking love it.
And then the pairs look like they have souls in them or whatever because they have faces on them.
Yeah.
They're so weird looking.
Oh, this is the first game with Beetle, isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And we see old Beatles.
I don't like him.
I like him better in this than I did in Spirit Tracks.
Goodbye.
You
I
have
think
to do
that's fair.
stupid
Yeah.
shit for that one to get. There's a lot of hurdles you got to do.
Yeah. And it makes more. It's he's your first time. Of course, you can't tell me, Beetle, that's not you under that mask in that special Beetle shop.
It's stupid, but it's funny.
Yeah.
I think I only got only 30 some points on my valued customer card.
Same, because I was going for the full map, but then I got to a point where I just stopped caring.
No, I got the full map.
I have the full map.
I got close. I was missing like 3 or 4, but I didn't have a reason to go there, so I just never bothered to.
And you gotta love some of the islands that they had to come up with. I mean, you could tell that in some cases they were just running out of island ideas, like one Cyclops Reef, 2-eye Reef, 3-eye Reef, 4-eye Reef, 5-eye Reef, 6-eye Reef.
Oh, 100%.
Damn
Yeah.
sides of the dice.
It doesn't hurt the game. There's also the forts that you can find too that I don't know what the point of them is, but
Some of them would probably have, I think, a piece of heart or something.
okay.
Or they have treasures on them if you defeat everybody.
Oh yeah, I didn't do any treasures other than the Triforce charts. Oh, we should talk about how annoying that is.
I was going to ask you, what did you think about the Triforce charts? Because that was a really annoying thing on GameCube, and I know they kind of like made it shorter on the Wii U version also.
Yeah, there's 4 you get 4 shards and 4 charts, where in the GameCube version you get 8 charts and you got to go find the shard.
Yeah.
They made it less annoying. But I mean, was it as annoying this time?
I mean, I did it in a couple hours. I had a guide, but no, it wasn't that bad. I mean, if you're bitching about it, you're just bitching to bitch.
The thing to bitch about is the money requirement.
Yes.
Like, it just takes a lot of money.
3,000.
Yeah, so you got to get all
Actually,
the
it's, I
upgrades.
think,
No, it's more than that. No,
yeah,
it's
300 something.
98?
398 or 396 per map, and there's 8 maps. So whoever wants to do the math quick, but yeah, it's more than I mean, I had 2,000, and then thankfully that this game's old, so there was somebody had posted in a Reddit. I love Reddit sometimes. Where there's like, you go to one of the rooms where you got a Triforce chart, and you can break a pillar, and if you do that, you can get like 100 rupees pretty quickly, and you just keep doing that.
Well, if you're really good at putting the arrows in the fish, he'll give you like 200.
See, I didn't know about that. I knew about that.
But
Oh,
you have
man.
to get all of them. He gives you 10 arrows, and you have to get all 10 of them in him. But, but even if you don't, you still get like 10 per arrow or whatever.
That still sounds so cool.
You can get like 80 rupees or whatever if you only get 8 out of 10.
I mean, if you're used to the gameplay and know what you're doing, you can actually and don't spend a lot of rupees. Which, yeah, I know what I'm doing. I don't spend a lot of rupees, so it was the quickest I could get through that. I mean, by the time I even started it, I had enough to pay for 6 of the charts. So what I ended up doing, I get the one chart, head my way over there, sail my way over to the other one. Oh, look, I've got a treasure chart right here. This is either going to be a silver rupee or a piece of heart. It's a silver rupee, 200 rupees. Hey, what do you know? I got half the money back already.
I mean, if you're doing that, yes, like you can get the money in this game, but I didn't want to mess with the treasure charts. I mean, I had a few, like 5, but it wasn't really my thing to care about nor mess with.
I mean, there was also a slightly challenging way to get money if you got the deed for the cabana.
You have to get the deed for cabana if you want the Triforce chart.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say
that bothered me.
What did you think of the house? I personally hate slide puzzles, so I mean,
You don't have to do the slide puzzle.
Well, I'm just saying.
No, you don't. It's
I didn't like
way
doing
to
them.
get money.
I don't like them.
That is like
I don't
the
like it
quintessential slide puzzle to me. That is the one to talk about ever in a game.
I didn't do any of them.
I just
It's
don't
got like
care. I just don't
16
care
different
for 'em.
images.
I know you don't have to do them, but they're there.
Like I don't know. They're annoying, but that's the one I think of first off.
I didn't want to do the cabana deed. Like when the guy told me to go find the people, and like I only had 21 joy pendants by the time I got to the end of this game, and I'm like, because I didn't realize I needed them, I was going to be pissed if the game's like, oh, you got to go find 5 more. And I've been like, what?
I think for like the GameCube version, you needed 20 to get the cabana deed.
Yeah,
21.
You needed 40 to get you needed 40 to be able to get the hero charm.
I didn't mess with that. But you need 21 because she takes the first one, and then she wants 20 more, which was annoying. So yeah, it's 21 that you have to get, and luckily I had exactly 21 when I did it, so I was able to get it.
congratulations.
Those tend to be the easier things to get because they're like from the regular goblins. And you just,
Yeah, but when you don't know you need them, and you're not really concerned, and you're not going for the extra ones the game gives you throughout all the dungeons and stuff, because you're like, I don't need these. I mean, I grabbed them just because, but I'm like, I didn't realize I needed them.
In Zelda games, you should grab everything and keep everything.
Yep.
Yes, that is true.
Yeah, everything there you're gonna.
I mean, you got to go around to the islands. Get when you're in dungeons, you gotta get your chew jelly.
Oh yeah.
I never used the chew jelly, but I did get a lot of it.
Well, you can make potions out of it.
Yeah, you take them to the guy on Windfall.
Yeah.
Oh, I never made potions, for the record. So
I managed.
Did you play Battleship?
Once with save state, so it went really well.
I love that guy. Actually, I won the Battleship game. I won the Battleship game first time this time around.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and I love with the where he has like the different pictures he holds on his face and the girls. And he's like, ooh, yeah. Like I said, like all the sound effects are so great.
It's such a goofy game in a great way, and like I get why people didn't like it back then because we were stupid.
I didn't understand greatness.
No, in 2003, we wanted more realistic stuff. We didn't know what we wanted. Like one of the best looking games on GameCube also is Robotech Battlecry because it's cell shading.
2003 was like quintessential, like
terrible game.
Tribal tattoos, and everyone's all about dark and gritty and extreme. It's like the last vestiges of the 90s.
Didn't Game Boy SP have an ad with Mario having a tribal tattoo on him? Right?
Yes.
Oh yeah. I've seen.
It's
that.
like as we were moving away from the like
recently,
post grunge, like Korn, Limp Bizkit era.
And you know what? Probably what they did put some crazy ass games in this one though. Mini games for you to try and win stuff.
I played very few. I didn't even. Oh, you get your arrows and bombs in this game through fairies, not through any mini games like normally.
Oh, you mean like bigger?
Yeah, you usually get the bigger things from having to do a quiver game or having to do some kind of thing. Like I think Phantom Hourglass said you had to shoot ships at one point or something like that. Like this game, you just go find the fairy and you just get more stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, getting into the fairy's the trick.
I mean, finding them is the thing, but yeah.
Did any of you guys? I mean, I always thought the detail of the fairies was really cool, and trapping them in the little things like.
Oh, when they put their little hands, they're like, no, yeah. Yes.
But did any of you guys, whenever you played Mario 3D World, and that's what Bowser does, and that's like, I was like, oh, Link was the villain the whole time in Wind Waker. now I know.
I don't like the fairies looking like this.
Doing the same thing where he's trapping fairies in jars. I'm like, wait a second, that's what Link does.
I prefer my fairies to be just a little glowing pink orb with wings. Like I prefer that. I don't like them having little faces and look like little cupids to me for some reason.
Having emotions.
Yes, I don't want the things that I'm putting in a bottle to have emotion.
I like that the look they had. This guy say, I wasn't expecting to go, hey, listen, over here, hey, listen.
I'm thankful that's not here.
Instead, you get the hey. Well, that
yeah, but that's okay. It's not as often.
The Tetra tracker just kind of activates.
Yeah, but only here and there. It's not bad.
Got to also admit that the crawling was a little more in depth than what they ever had in like the previous Zelda game.
Oh yeah, you got little mini mazes and
parts. It adds to it.
The noise that it makes when you can't move the camera in that mode is so good. It's just like a little steel drum.
Yeah,
I was like the part above the bomb guy with the little rats, like with the bells that can drop you out of.
Oh yeah, that's no, that wasn't above the bomb guy. That was in the prison in the jail that Tingle was in.
Yeah, there's one. I thought there was. Maybe I'm just mixing them up. I thought there was a maze above the bomb guy.
No, you have to crouch to get in and sneak in to see what the pirates are doing in there.
Well, yeah, I remember that part.
Which is
I think I just because they're in the same town.
I mean, let's face it. The guy was selling the bombs for like 10,000 for 10.
Yeah,
because he didn't like you.
Just so you can't get them. Yeah.
No, because I've got the secret. Why should I sell it? You have to come to me. Give me money.
And we got the auction guy with the Coolio braids.
Yeah.
That guy.
Well, that was. Now I gotta look up his name.
Well, I know he's a different guy, but he's funny. I like
so many good characters.
They have so much great design.
You got the rich family and the poor family thing going on too.
Yeah, and they swap too after Forsaken Fortress. It switches.
I think that's really cool too to have that in there, where like where she talks about the rich one. She's like, yeah, my dad spent all the money trying to get me back.
Yeah,
yeah.
And now he's broke.
And then the other guy sold out. For fame and fortune,
and breaking all the dishes and not paying. I don't know if you can do that in the GameCube one, but you can do it in the Wii one. No Wii.
You can break a pot and he yells at you. I know in one place.
Well, yeah, but I think if you talk to him, he makes you pay for him. So you can just go in there and break him and just make him mad.
I do remember maybe one of those things that happens when you're a kid and you kind of misremember it, where it's like if you try to leave, he will try to make you pay. That might be just.
I think you might have had to in the GameCube one, but in the Wii U one, I was just breaking shit and leaving, and he didn't say anything.
What happened if you went back in there?
It did nothing. Everything was back, and I could break it again.
Oh, he didn't shoot you with a lightning bolt because you left trying to steal something?
Yeah. You didn't get branded as thief.
Speaking about breaking shit and getting mad, like I still love the interactive the two brothers at the very beginning, like the guy you get
the sword master and the
where he,
lore
runs
master.
into the wall and all the shit falls down, and you hear the guy up top being like, "Shut up down there!" Like it's just right off the bat you can see how much personality the characters have.
And then of course you take 10 Night Crest back to the other guy. He's like, you learn the hurricane spin.
Oh yeah, the lawnmower as I called it.
I remember those.
You could cut
Those
so much
night crests
crap
were
from it.
hard to get this time for me for some reason.
With the Knight's Crest, I had
Yeah,
I had
Get
a
'em
lot,
from
too.
Get
Well,
them from the dark nuts, and you
Yeah.
can steal it with the grappling thing also.
grappling hook on a dark nut. Well, once
I think you got to get rid of all the armor first. But
Yeah.
You do, yeah.
Yeah.
You can get the Knight's Crest easy.
you're gonna
With the
grapple hook on a
Bokoblin-
dark nut. Is that what you said?
Grappling hook on the Bokoblin
I don't
was
make the names.
that'll be the joy pendant. You do it on a Moblin, you get the skull pendant, the skull necklace. You do it on a red chew, you get the red chew jelly. You do it on a green chew or a yellow chew, you get a green chew jelly. Also, if you do it on the stone chews. And if you do it on the blue chews, you get the blue jelly.
Isn't that like a erectile dysfunction thing now? Blue chews. Sorry.
This game was only like a year or two after Choo Choo Rocket, wasn't it?
I'm pretty sure I heard that on another podcast.
Well, chews have shown up since
one.
Majora Mask, I think. I think there were gels in,
Yeah, they're-
in
yeah, they're-
in first Zelda. But
I mean, there's jellies. I mean, I guess they are technically Zelda 1. Maybe I don't know if they're called choo-choos, but they might be. I just don't remember.
I remember them
Chews,
in this game specifically, but maybe
yeah, Majora's Mask, you saw chews.
I don't know. I mean, I guess I never played Majora's Mask. but-
Yeah. Yeah, you did. I mean, but they were in. I mean, if they're the same ones, they were in Zelda 1 also. The little slime looking guys.
Yeah.
Or are they called different things?
I think those are called called gels. They're different.
Okay. Because I always thought the Majora's Mask ones were those. Were like the 3D version of the ones from Zelda 1. The gels. My wife always called them blue jellies, and that's what I call them now.
Yeah, but the thing is, like with the blue chews, you can only get their jelly once. If you go back to the island and it's there again, if you try and get the jelly, you can't get it. And the guy needs 15 of them to make special cure-all. But if you want to, you could use 10 Baku seeds to get it from the one Korok on Forest Haven Island.
All right, any other things you guys want to say, or should we go on to questions, comments, and memories?
The only thing I want to say is I don't know if this happened with you guys, but in addition to the controversy that happened when the game was shown off, I know for me and my group of friends and everyone I talked with, we were all taken aback by Link having a sister. And for some reason, like we were hung up on that. Like, what? Link never had a sister. This doesn't make sense. I'm so confused. Who is this? Why do we care?
That bothered people?
That bothered us, yeah, like at the time.
okay.
Because I think we were just so apprehensive about this Link that we were like, I don't know if other people felt that way, but it was kind of weird back in the day. Because Link never had family, in any other game.
He had an uncle
He had an uncle in like the past.
And you could even think that maybe Zelda was his sister when he died. When he's like, Zelda is your ... That's what I always thought. Maybe they were related.
There were so many. I don't even remember hearing anything like that. I mean, he never got mention of a sister until now. Oh my God, how can this be? Well, let's face it, they've been different links between certain games.
Yeah, but it was a very different time 20-something years ago where we didn't, there was no established timeline yet. And while we did know there were multiple Links, it was always all right, Link is this one character. And the uncle in A Link to the Past was more of a throwaway character. He was there more as a plot device.
Yeah, I mean, you got Link having a family. Well, we know that they're a Link. Hey, Link, you got any family?
But we never see his parents. Like, we don't know. Like that.
He always seems to come from somewhere else.
And he's a Hylian living with the Kokori. So how did he, he was found, and like it was like this whole mystery of who is his parents, so to suddenly have a sister. It's like, wait, what? Wait a minute.
Go home and be a family man.
At least for us back then, it was more jarring, and they've never done it since. So it's kind of interesting that it was a one-off.
Not really.
All of Link's siblings died, and
Link never had.
They
where did
don't
Link
tell you
have a
that, but
sister?
they all died.
Again.
We've never heard anything like of siblings since then, but there's always been some sort of family, at least, well, in certain games, yes, we have established that Link has a family or has members of the family.
But we never see them. They're never characters involved.
Because in all things concerned, they're not important to the story of the game.
Right. And that's why it was so jarring. Like now suddenly introduced and then to not come back again. It's kind of interesting. It's like, why did they choose this one to give him a sibling and never again?
Because it was a plot device.
She was a MacGuffin. She was used as a MacGuffin.
They needed another damsel in distress because
Of course.
Pirate Zelda wasn't ready for that yet.
Exactly.
Needed somebody else to get kidnapped. I do kind of like the idea of like just kidnapping the girls that might look like Zelda or whatever, or picking up elf children or whatever.
Whoever might fit the bill, just
it works.
Yeah.
It's happened in other stories. Like Super Mario Brothers the movie, right? They did that too.
Like Willow.
You had to go there, huh?
Like Willow.
Yeah, I did. I absolutely had to go there.
First
But it's true. They did do it there.
Let's first also point out because their people might be confused. Yes, there was a Super Mario Brothers live-action movie starring Bob Hoskins.
I don't think anyone's confused.
No, I don't. Not the one listen to this.
I thought you were. I thought you were going to talk about the new one. In case nobody knew, there was a really bad Chris Pratt one that came out.
That movie.
It wasn't bad. It was good.
Well,
It was better.
People might
It's
think
been
that.
said it's better than what we got back then. But then for what we had back then, it was pretty damn good.
It was
It
more
was new
interesting.
ground at the time.
All right, I think we should go to questions, comments, and memories.
Yeah, that's good.
I got a few from the. I got more than a few. But from the, I watched the entire Orblood Super Replay group. First one from Reese Mahanic, friend of the show. My comment is just that I still think it's a shame that Wind Waker HD made such a drastic change the look of the game without offering an option to enjoy the game in its original lighting style, which I find much more striking. I hope if they do another release of it, they will support the option to enjoy the GameCube visual style in HD too. Oh, yeah, it does look different when I looked at like videos and stuff.
I do like the way it looks a lot on the Wii U version, but I understand.
Yeah, I get where he's coming from. Where
Voices are always good.
have the option for either one.
I don't think Nintendo's done that in any of their remasters though, but I wish they would. I always love it when other companies do that, let you switch between old and new, like especially on the fly, like Tomb Raider, like we mentioned earlier.
Hey, Master Chief Collection does it too, or Master Chief 1 did it too.
Yep. Dragon Quest 11. It did it too.
No, it's not. I mean, it's
not a
not
remaster,
instantaneous though. When you try to switch between, you actually won't be in the same spot, which is always really annoying. You might be like way farther back or in a whole different continent or whatever. Yes, it wasn't as easy unless you're playing it on 3DS, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we didn't get that version, unfortunately.
I wish they would have. It looks so nice.
Oh, I do too.
I mean, we got parts of it because they put it in 11. Like all the 16-bit stuff was from.
I do want to play. I need to play that someday, but that game sounds massive, so I don't have time for that.
It's awesome.
It's awesome. Yeah, I did both credits, and I think I did like almost 200 hours into it, but it was worth it.
Yeah, you need to.
I know, Mike. You're busy playing Rogue Leader. I get it.
I will be soon. I beat God of. Well, I'm not gonna.
I have that game.
Let's just say that later. From Casey Heacock's friend of the show, probably my favorite traditional Zelda game pre-Breath of the Wild. It's so pretty and charming. I only have experience with the Wii U version, but it's so fun, and I think captured that feeling of adventure that I felt as a kid the first time you see Hyrule Field and Ocarina so well. Yeah. From Ricky Hannigan, Wind Waker is so good because I'm an absolute slut for cell shading, unique aesthetics, whether it's more muted or grungy ones like Borderlands or kind of Torchlight, or more vibrant ones like Wind Waker or Okami. Wind Waker HD was what sold me on getting a Wii U. I even got the special Zelda edition with the Hylian script around the gamepad and a Hyrule Historia pre-installed. The fast sail is so damn good in the remake, it makes sailing 1,000 times better. Yeah, I regret not getting that Wii U.
With sale. Awesome.
Right, from Quentin Crow. Oh boy, so back in the day when I was a bright young 20-year-old, Nintendo dropped the first images of the new Zelda everyone had been waiting for, and like many other gamers at the time, I was more than upset at the cartoony art direction that the community was in the in-games aren't just for kids phase. Anyway, for several months I rallied against Nintendo for being childish and yada yada yada. But one weekend when I went to Suncoast at our local mall, I saw the first demo at a GameCube kiosk. I watched for a few seconds. It does look like hard work into it at least, and then I saw Link throw a bomb, and oh my god, those beautiful curls of digital smoke and soft pastel colors just blew my mind. It wasn't the gameplay, it wasn't the franchise, it was that small little artistic detail of a bomb exploding changed my mind, even the GameCube as a whole. That's
Good.
cool though.
Wow.
I don't know. I don't know if you guys remember, but way back in the day, around when this came out, I think it was X Play or something on G4. They did like a best graphics of all time countdown, and Wind Waker was number one. And that was always my defense to anybody who told me that Xbox looked better than GameCube. I'd be like, but they voted Wind Waker the best looking game, so it's the best looking system. That's always my fighting point.
That's awesome.
I mean, that has borne out to be true so far.
Yeah, I'm just saying that back in the day when people were hating on the Cube, I was 100%.
Hey,
Well, I remember that. I had a friend in high school that defended the Cube with his life pretty much when we were all talking about PS2 and Xbox. I remember that and how upset he was when he was betrayed when RE4 came out on PS2.
Well, it came out on GameCube first, though.
Yeah, but he was so upset when it came out. He's like, they betrayed me. Yeah, he was not happy.
It was the Capcom 5.
Yeah, how's that going?
I still want the Phoenix game that never came out. For the
Yeah.
Capcom
Yeah.
5.
Maybe one day. Now that they're doing everything now.
Right?
I still want to do that pin number game.
Oh, that game's so bad.
I know, I have it. I beat it. I want to do this
Yeah, no,
podcast. though.
Oh yeah, it's awful. I'm sorry for anybody who has to play through that game.
Maybe one day,
looks
Mike.
so good.
You could probably talk me into it.
It's
The
a
piano-
3-hour
piano
game.
one or whatever.
Like, it's not bad for 3. It's just bad if you paid $50, which I know a guy who paid $50 for it the day it came out,
Oh,
and
sure.
woo, he was not happy.
I think. I mean, I own it. I mean, I'm sure I bought it on the cheap, but
I bought it for
yeah, it
$3.
was like it's terrible. It's not. I don't know. I guess it's short, but I couldn't make it through it because it was so annoying to play.
Yeah, the controls are what do it. The gameplay looks good, the graphics look good, but the controls are ass.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to play it because I thought it looked great, but it's just stupid to play.
But no, Dominic, if you're interested, I mean, I don't have time now, but I will have time in somehow. I can just throw it together just because.
I mean, we'd have to plan it out so I could get a copy, but like I'm not against it.
Oh, I don't know.
I do
I was
have
gonna say emulation, but yeah, I forget
What
you don't
game
like
are
that
you
as much.
talking about again?
PNO 3.
Product number 3.
Oh,
Like GameCube Capcom game.
no.
I think I got it back there behind me somewhere. I did.
I played it once. I'm like, this is fine. I beat it in like a day or so, and then I've never touched it since. But since we done on this podcast, we have done the 3 of the Capcom 5. That's the only one left. So that's why I think about it, just because.
What was all in there? Beautiful Joe.
Resident Evil 4,
Joe.
Beautiful Joe, Killer 7.
Oh yeah, because you were gonna do a Beautiful Joe 2, right?
Some point, but I've never. I still need to redo Beautiful Joe 1 because that's the only game in this podcast that beat me because I didn't have access to save states, so I was playing it legit and I couldn't do it, and I want to do it again, and I just never have because I was supposed to do it with another podcast, and like, oh, when you do it, I'll do it for mine, and then that never happened. So
When you eventually transition to doing less work for the show, that should be like the last game you play before you like switch over.
you don't see that ever happening though, unless the show got. I like editing. Even
Well,
though it
you
does take
said
a
you were
lot
going
of
to
time.
cut back eventually.
Oh yeah, I say that, but yeah.
Okay, you can find product number 3 for GameCube on
eBay?
Amazon. They say you can also visit the Capcom store. It is available for a whopping $104.64.
Well, it's
If you
probably
pay that,
it's probably
my
sealed. And
condolences.
also, don't buy GameCube games from Amazon.
No, you buy them eBay.
You're not gonna get it. You're not gonna get a good deal there.
But you'll get them.
There is
All right.
also it's listed as renewed where it's
Renewed? What the fuck is renewed?
$99.99. I have no idea what that
Like
means.
refurbished or something.
Oh, okay.
On price charting, it's like $50-$60 to get a complete copy.
On eBay, on eBay used 60. That's still
Bitch,
higher
don't
than
pay that for
than
that
I thought it
game.
would be. Yeah.
Wow.
I had it when I was younger for like a lot cheaper price. I remember that.
That's like higher than it was released.
I paid between $5 and $10 for this game. I could, I might find out when we're done recording because it's behind
Yeah,
me. And the stickers, I guarantee you, still on it. But yeah, no, it's not. No, do not pay more. I mean, the game is no. Okay. Last comment from this group from Adam Carr. It's the only Zelda game I played that my wife actually took interest watching me play. It's beautiful. And from the official Laser Time community, from Mike Miley, I'm firmly of the belief that Nintendo is just sitting on this because this was in some game leak thing a few years back that had like everything else on it come out. So maybe Switch 2. That's what I assume.
No way. Switch 1. Switch. They don't need the Switch 2 power, and the install base on Switch 1 is just way too big.
You
mean,
know what I was saying earlier.
If it comes out,
Plenty
it'll
of
be on
time.
both. Yeah. If it does come out, it'll be on both.
Well, it'll be Switch 1 will be able to be played on Switch 2. I don't think there's going to be a Switch 2.
But I feel like Switch 2 will already be out by the time they release it.
I mean, like, yeah, whatever. It'll be
playable on
you
both.
can play it on both.
Yeah.
It's like Xenoblade X is coming to the Switch. It's on a Switch 2. It's not needed for it because it's a Wii U game, but it will be playable on the Switch 2, but you still get the install base of the Switch 1.
Yeah. 10 years later, man.
Yep.
Xenoblade.
It's a great game. It's a great game.
Yeah. Awesome soundtrack.
And from Tessa Rose, I love this game so much. I love the fact that the remake improved on the more frustrating parts of the game and made it a more fun experience overall, but without compromising the challenge of the game. Ugh, so good. I could gush about Wind Waker for hours. Right. From Adam Foot, I'm playing through the HD version on Cemu on my Steam Deck and loving it. It is cementing itself as one of my favorite Zelda games. I didn't want to mess with Cemu. But yeah, you can play this on Steam Deck just fine if you bother to. From Alan Lawrence, the HD release is one of the main reasons I keep my Wii U hooked up. That's fair. From Matthew Kerr, still my favorite Zelda game. I really should beat it on the Wii U. You should. I should have too, but I didn't want to.
We're still waiting for the Switch version.
I'll buy it, unfortunately. I don't buy a lot of Switch games, as Barry well knows, and we always talk about it, but I do buy every Zelda game that comes out, eventually. That is the one collection that I want the entirety of on Switch. Is Zelda.
Do you have Echoes of Wisdom?
Maybe. I don't know. I gave my wife a list of games to buy me, and that was one of them, so I don't know what she bought.
Do you have Cadence of Hyrule?
Yes, on this podcast.
I was on that one.
I was almost on that one.
I have Cadence. I have Skyward Sword HD I bought because I've never played Skyward Sword.
I have that. I bought that in Abu Dhabi.
But
Pretty cool.
Please tell me that at least the HD version of Skyward Sword doesn't have sufferable imprisoned fights.
They fixed it.
They tried to do. I mean, yeah, they did their own like Swift sale and of their own way to try to make it a little bit more playable.
I really want to play it one day. I just don't know.
You don't even need to use motion control in the Switch version.
Yeah, they switched.
I know, that's why I have it.
Fixed it kind of. It's fine.
It's because it's longer on how long to beat, and I'm assuming that it won't actually take me that long to get through it.
It is a long game.
That's a sad.
Yeah, but I beat stuff usually faster. 31 hours it says, which is a bit.
It's got one of the best.
Give yourself a break first,
ever, though.
Well, I'm actually getting through a lot of Zelda games on this podcast we have. Like, we're going to do Link's Awakening 2019 at some point in 2025 as a recovered.
Sure.
Because I did the original one.
Be there.
So I'm running out of them. I have Skyward Sword. I have Triforce Heroes. I still got a decent amount to do, but I'm getting there. So
we've played a lot of long games recently. So
maybe whenever the Switch 2 comes out, they can make that remake run well.
Someday I am going to play the CDI games, but that's
yeah.
I know a person you can call who has those and has played through them. If you're looking for
John, right?
John Wedgeworth, who's been on our show.
Okay, I knew it was on your show, and I knew it was a John, but I couldn't remember which John.
He does a Nerd Noise Radio. He's a video game music guy.
Yeah, I should have. Yeah, okay, I'd be happy to if I can find one other sucker.
He has the games. He showed them to me when I was there last, and
I have copies of them. Does that count?
Yeah, he knows. Like he was super psyched about RZ and all that stuff, where they did the game that's kind of like that.
Triforce Heroes is a game I have never wanted to complete.
Yeah, I played Triforce Heroes once. No, more than one. We were trying to go through it with two friends of mine, but then we just kept fighting, so then we stopped playing.
I don't mean to. I'm gonna have to bounce out of here, Mike. Sorry.
Oh no, well, that's fine. You want to do your shelf stacker box real quick?
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know how. I'm sure you got a ton of comments.
I got a few more,
but I kind of got to go and because
sorry,
I got to work.
Fine.
We talk.
No, it's fine. I figured it'd be whatever, however long. But no, I mean obviously this is stack, right? Or wait, what is it? Shelf.
Shelf is the best.
Whatever the best one is. Shelf it. I mean, I don't think I've ever unshelved things because you don't have
join
it on a shelf. Where my Piano 3 is. I actually found it. It's right behind me. But yeah, I shelved it. I would shelf it. Wind Waker, like I said, is one of my favorite Zelda games of all time. It's either 2 or 3. I don't know. Get on the Nintendo main Patreon and listen to that episode. Find out where I put it at. But yeah, you can check us out there on patreon.com/Nintendo main podcast. And I'm on Blue Sky now, like everybody else. So go find me on there.
Still got to set up my Blue Sky
account.
Fun.
You should.
I like Blue Sky. It's nice to have a place with a lot less ads and weirdos or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But thanks again for having me on, and
of course,
all you guys, and hopefully I'll get some of you on Nintendo Main at some point.
I need to get on your podcast again.
I know I've mentioned it before, but yeah, we're always looking for guests, and I think I've said it before in here, but I swear I'll try to contact you in the future.
Yeah, reach out.
We could always follow
absolutely
on Blue Sky and all that fun stuff, and text through there. But yeah, take care, everybody. See you later.
Great. And two more comments to read from this group from Chris Stopson. Love this game. First beat it on my Suitmate's GameCube in college, beat it again on the Wii, and picked up a Wii U in 2023, mostly to play the remake. And last comment from this group from Dave Heen. Probably my favorite game. Like you, I found the sailing fine as it was relaxing. The art style is perfect. And boy, probably the most violent thing I've seen done to Ganondorf. I used to play it every year until I had to sell my GameCube. Such a great game.
Yeah, that is definitely a
And
like
from the last group I'm going to read from the Zelda fan group, from Sib P, or Pi, I bought a used Wii U just for this game. The HD version is so good and was able to pick up a Twilight Princess HD as well. This is a good game. From Colin Lemire, Wind Waker looks so good to this day. Twilight Princess looked dated within 2 years after release. Nintendo knows best. From Monica Garner, ready to pull out my Wii U again. Really miss Wind Waker and Twilight Princess. Crazy they won't release them because many of us would be handing over the money real quick. From Lawrence Johnson, I played it a few years ago. I still have the GameCube disc and the Nintendo Wii. From Matt OD, I'm keeping up the hope that they'll do a remaster or remake next year. So when the Switch 2 is released, or at the very least, add GameCube games to NSO. Hopefully they do some special things with Zelda turning 40 in a couple years. I wouldn't count on it. From Kevin Ray, I found the sailing relaxing. A lot of people thought it was tedious. From Dan Deemer, it was my first introduction to The Legend of Zelda as a kid. Love that game. And last one I'm going to read from Giovanna Oliveri. I love Wind Waker, but I hate that it's only a Wii U port. The end game is also tedious now that I'm playing through it a second time. My first playthrough, I managed to find most of the Triforce pieces before I actually needed them. So when I did, it was only a few. Now that I'm playing it again, it's like I can't find any pieces and it's getting annoying. Well, you just get the charts.
Yeah, I'll get the charts.
Well, I don't know how you're playing it, but all right. That I wouldn't try to find out the charts. Like that seems crazy.
Yeah. But
all right, and before we go to Shelf Stacker Box, I want to give away a code for Steam. The code is for Paradise Killer, and the code is DH Z938E7TTVHQ87. That is your code for Paradise Killer. So, which I know a little bit about, but never played it.
Okay, I got that. I'm not saying I'm going to hunt for it right now. I just want to look up this game because it's a bit of that's an interesting name.
It's a dating sim type murder mystery game, I think.
There.
It's supposed to be
Anyone
good.
else can have it. Anyone else can have it. I don't want that myself. It's not my kind of game.
So, yeah, I've heard good things about it. I actually picked it up randomly at some point. I bought it because I wanted to play it, and I still have yet to do it. But it was on a What Are You Playing is how it was brought to my attention.
I was thinking Killer is Dead for some reason.
I should play that someday, too. I have that also. I've been meaning to play that game for years.
What game again was this?
Killer is Dead. It's a Suda51 game?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
It has like a really cool art style, and I've always been interested in it. I think I have it on 360 also, but I've just never gotten around to it yet.
It got super overlooked.
On
Steam for $2 right now. But I mean, that won't last by the time you hear this, but yeah.
Well, if it's part of their winter sale.
Yeah. All right, we should go to Shelf Stacker Box. And Barry, why don't you go first?
Yeah, easy shelf. I mean, it's a wonderful Zelda game. It won me over, and it put all my doubts to rest back then. And today, it still holds up extremely well. And like everyone else, I'd love to see it on Switch so even more people can enjoy it and experience it. And I think time has been very good to this game. I think public perception has been very good to this game. And just happy to see that. It's like a redemption story.
All right. And Richard.
Oh, yeah, definitely is going to go on the shelf. I mean, this is one of those Zelda games that I actually had fun replaying. It made me want to replay it. And yeah, even though I haven't touched it in about almost 2 decades, it was still fun to go back to. Even with my own hang up with rope swings, it's still a great game. I mean, I don't think I could put the 100% time in to get all those figurines again, unless I just do it as a relaxing thing. But yeah, this is a good game. This is it's good story, good music. It ages well, badass ending. I mean, can't do much better than that.
All right. And Dominic.
Oh, this is going on the shelf. This is one of the best games of all time, I think. Somewhere on that list. I think there's something to be said about Nintendo's synergy in the early life of the GameCube, where, it was Wave Race, it was Metroid Prime, it was Mario Sunshine. They were all kind of water-based and just seemed very, not that they were the same game, but they had the same kind of like mindset of like, how do we use this technology that we have now to like wrap back around to making a new game, and water just seemed to be the key to all of it. And I've always liked that aesthetic that they had at that time. So I don't think we also talk about how great the story is and how wonderful the storytelling elements are. Just all the amazing moments from like Ganon's appearance to his ending to just like the small stuff, like I was saying earlier about the way you get that last pearl where you meet Jabu, and instead of the dungeon, you just get like, oh, this island's been destroyed. You know, just those moments are just so impactful, I think, and are some of the best in the series.
And I'll go last. On What's on the Shelf also, I really, really enjoyed this game. It was a great replay, and I wasn't even bored sitting in the cold in a car for 3 hours while playing this. I was actually quite entertained. So, hey, that's impressive. Because I was not in a comfortable position sitting in a car playing on a Steam Deck for 3 hours. So, game is great. Game is really, really good. So definitely go on the shelf. And I'm happy I finally got to it. I'm really glad that we got to wrap up the trilogy of this.
Hell yeah.
In the wrong order. But hey. We went Phantom Hourglass, Spirit Tracks, and then Wind Waker. So.
Well, we talked about the music, and I'll just throw this fact out here now. The soundtrack for Legend of Zelda Wind Waker clocks in at 2 hours, 34 minutes, and 16 seconds.
Well deserved.
That's pretty good. Oh, and before we go on to plug just one, I want to mention what next week you can hear us talk about God of War 2. So, my first time ever playing that, actually. So, one of those games that have been on my list to play forever. So, definitely go stay tuned for that next week. And, Barry, where can we find you at?
You can find me on Twitter, Blue Sky, and Fuse over at Hawk Hellfire. You can also find me on social media, all social medias at Nintendo Fuse, where we do our bi-weekly podcast, as well as game reviews and a bunch of other stuff. And you could also find me on all social media platforms at Premium Edition Games, and on Twitter it's Premium Edition 1, where we have the latest set of games for the Switch that are pre-orderable right now, and a bunch more coming in stock right now. So go to premiumeditiongames.com and get your, post-Christmas gifts of Switch games right now.
And Dominic.
This is a Waves podcast on YouTube, but I'm also in the Overblood Facebook group. I'm not going to plug any socials this time because I have to figure out what I'm doing with social media, given the way X is.
Just
or
get rid of
Twitter.
it. That's what I did. I didn't deactivate it, but I uninstalled it.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm leaning, but I don't know if I want to do the whole Blue Sky thing. I have to figure it out.
I just do it because of the podcast, but I get it.
That's totally fair. Yeah.
I also quit when something happened in November, and I said, nope, I'm done. And then I left Twitter. I uninstalled it that day. So, all right. And Richard.
You can always find me on my YouTube channel, which is Rich Kale, where I play through various games and franchises. I also do fic readings that pop up every once in a while. Stuff I've written over the years. Come check stuff out. I mean, get to see me struggle through some games that I played before and some that I've never played before.
How that goes.
Like BioShock Infinite. That I've never played before.
All right. And if you enjoyed this episode, there's over 700 other episodes of podcasts. We do movies, comics, TV shows, games, all sorts of content. Go check out our giant catalog of content. You can find everything we do on Podbean, Spotify. It's all there. If you want to support the show, we do a Patreon, a little dog vote in our Patreon polls. We have 1 to 2 polls a month. Lately, just 1, because I'm still getting caught up. So definitely go check all that content out and support the show. We have Discord. Please join our Discord. If you want to be on the show, if you want to chat with the show, if you want to suggest things for the show, I will definitely get to someday. Please do that. You'll see a link to the Discord in all our episodes. We're always happy to do people join. Even if you just want to alert, please just join. I want to give a shout out to my awesome intro and outro courtesy of Helena at Hell Has Fury. Follow her on TikTok and Instagram. And check out A Gamer Looks at 40 with Bill Tucker. He's about to come back. If you're hearing this right when this comes out, he's coming back in January to Final Fantasy 7 for 2 months. So definitely go check out his great podcast. And please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, TikTok, YouTube, audio only. But please check us out. I think that's everything I need to say. So we will see you guys all next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
See ya.